kill these guys, but yeah, that's not happening. All right, well that was fun. That was goofy. Yeah, I am shocked I made it that far, but hey, you know, it was fun. It was fun. So how do we want to do this, Epi? How do we want to do this, I guess, is the question. Yeah, that didn't even make it in. That's a terrible score. God, I don't even want to look at that. Don't even want to look at it. But, that was fun. Goofy, but fun. So how do we want to do this, I guess, is the question. Discord as last time? Probably, yeah. I need to turn down the in-game sounds. Is what I need to do. So just put everything down to 45. Heartbeat down to... Why do those go by 5s, but heartbeat only goes by a 10? So I don't blow people's eardrums out. Although they can still do that with sound commands. Looking at volume, I might actually need to leave it down. But, you know, I was about to put out a ping on my Discord, but I realized that you've kind of done that for me. Because I'm subscribed to your Discord. But, yeah, just shoot me a call whenever. Well, we can get started. We can figure out what kind of run I'm going to do this time. Definitely hard, though. I know that much. Hello.
Okay.
Loud and clear for me, anyway.
Okay, so I have echo, so that means that I need to silence down. Okay, I need to silence down myself.
Yeah, that would generally mean that you still have the stream audio turned on, not that I'm messing something up. Because when I hear echo, it's like, oh no, that's bad. That means I've screwed up my routing again.
Yeah, I just needed to turn the stream down.
We found it! We found it! We found the guy's wiener!
Now I'm hearing about commands from chat. Something about some guy's wiener. But yeah, so how do we want to do this exactly? Because like, I guess it's kind of up to you what route I go.
You had this idea about going, you know, Callisto and reset.
Yeah.
So I suggest we do like precisely that, Callisto and reset. And I would suggest that if it's available, go Valhalla terminal.
Okay. Do you have a preferred class that I play, or should I just leave it random?
Thank you, Luxadream. Yeah, you can go random, I think. Because the only significant change in classes was Technician with the smoke green change, right?
I'm gonna put chat on TV. So you guys can say hi YouTube or hi mom or something. I don't know.
Yeah, if anybody has any questions, I'll be gladly answering during the run and stuff.
I'll figure out where to put that later. I need a good name, which is tricky here. Good name. Because these are all just going to get reset. I guess I could also just go with the default. I think that I don't want to cover up abilities, so I need to figure out where to put chat. Let's move it up there. That'll work.
Just wanted to say hi YouTube too, but I realized that would be kind of missing the point.
I mean, well, hi
Well, yeah.
YouTube, hi Twitch chat, whatever. This is going to go on YouTube, so. All right, so
The game is going.
with?
Yeah, I can actually answer the first question because this is quite important. The game will go on sale tomorrow and will be the highest sale yet.
It's funny because I know that Luxadream owns this game already, so it's probably literally asking for a friend.
Just so you know, it's not that Tuesday is going to be a larger discount. It's going to be the same Tuesday as the whole week. So some. Well, this comment will make sense Tuesday.
Makes sense to me, but I can't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
I love it when
So,
the first shot I shoot misses and it's an 84%.
Then you know your run is going to be great.
Yep, we're off to a good start.
It feels.
I only need to make it to the end of Callista, so it can't go that badly, right?
Yeah, but you're playing on hard now, right?
Eh.
And things will get a little bit more difficult probably, and depending on which branch you take.
Well, I mean, Reaver's got a buff, right?
Well, yeah, but there aren't. No. A Ravager's got a buff.
Oh, okay.
Reavers are actually Reavers now have half the health of a Ravager. I realized. That doesn't seem
Reavers.
fair. Yeah, Reavers should get a buff too.
You need to send them to the gym more.
I had to buff the the mid and late game a little bit because the rewards right now on Callisto are, well, I would say a step up higher than compared to what was before this patch came in. Oh, and yes, and I'll not. I really want to take a moment when you're still on the starting level to not talk about my favorite feature of this patch, which is redacted. This feature is not in this build. This is the only thing that isn't in this build. This feature will be active Monday, and it's the first time. It's the biggest. Actually, it's the biggest secret I ever added into a game, and it took more work than all the secrets that I ever added together. So I'm really excited whether, when, and how people will actually find it. But like Dragon Slayer and somebody knows Dragon Slayer and Doom RL, Apostle and Doom RL doesn't even compare.
I'm gonna need to like DM people and figure out how to do that.
Well, I don't think it will be figured out quickly.
My dumb ass will never figure it out. Terrible at that kind of thing. Although I've spent on the topic of secrets in video games, I've been spending the whole week trying to convince people to play Glittermitten Grove because it's included in the Ukraine bundle, and I've been trying to convince people to play that and not tell them what that game actually is.
I haven't heard about it, so I don't know.
It's related
either.
to Frog Fractions, if that helps.
No.
You've never heard of Frog Fractions? Oh my word! You should
Come
play
on,
Glittermitten Grove.
I played Destiny and Warframe. What do you think I know about games?
Well, Frog Fractions is free, to be fair. It was a browser game. And then Frog Fractions 2 happened. And then Frog Fractions, you know.
The only browser game I ever played, like except like accidentally clicking, I think was Dice Wars. Actually, Dice Wars 2.
So
I spent so many fucking hours playing that game.
the spoilerific version, if you want it, I can tell you what it is. So, chat, spoilers for Glittermitten Grove. Glittermitten Grove is a super like wholesome, like Tinkerbell themed, like little kids town builder where you build a home for fairies. But if you go down in the game and you go very far down, you fall through into another game, which is Frog Fractions 3, which is like an ASCII like homage to computer games from the 80s, and it's this weird nightmare factory of a billion different games that crashes your computer by the end of it. It's great.
Sounds like a good secret.
Yeah. So I've been trying to con people into playing Glittermitten Grove. But this patch has been a really, really, really long time coming. So I guess I'll just kind of throw this off to kind of get conversations going. But like, what was kind of your main goal with this patch for people who may not know?
Okay, so the fact that it was a long time coming, I must like immediately say that half of the time that was spent on this patch is actually visible, because also I've spent about half of the time rewriting some internal systems for future features. So gameplay-wise, I think half of the time that it took is within the gameplay. But the whole idea was that, we had... those smokes here look good. the whole idea of this patch was that we realized one of the major criticisms of the game was that the game basically gets going once you get to Europa, or even mid Europa. So we really wanted to improve the early game, and once I started brainstorming on the idea of improving the early game, I realized that there's a lot of fun actually to be added. And I made changes to the branches in a way that I now really want to apply the changes to all the other branches, as we will probably hopefully see during this run. Not to mention the fact that I also did some changes in the dynamics of the game. For example, level 2 was the most boring level. Basically, Callisto level 2 is the most boring point of the game, I think. So what I did was reduce its size by 2/3, so it ends quicker.
That guy didn't
So
want
there's
to take
2/3. So there's 2/3 of enemies here and 2/3 of the size of the level. Also, all level generators that are used within almost all level generators that are used within Callisto have been revisited to, add additional visual enhancements, add more possible, because for example, this level generator creates the level out of prefab tiles, which then it adds some randomness to those prefab tiles, but generally that's the idea. So we added more options and more elements to those tiles that are because the funny thing is the game is being developed in a way that, for example, around the 1.0 patch, we had a situation that the further levels that were added had many features that the earlier ones didn't have, just because they were developed later, right? So now I'm trying to use all those tools that we developed developing further content and bring it back to those earlier levels, so the game does feel generally more interesting.
Can't see shit.
But damn, I did a huge digression. I hope that was somewhat understandable.
That's what I'm hoping for, because I'm just
In my
because of daylight savings.
Okay,
So.
in my defense, I don't remember the last time I was speaking English.
Oh, that's fine.
I was supposed to go to GDC right now, where I would be speaking a lot of English, but decided against it because, well, let's say in this part of the world right now, you don't know how tomorrow will look like, so it's better to be close to your dependents and stuff like that.
Yeah, traveling right now is maybe the biggest question mark than it's been for a while, but I don't know. I will always say this, your English is not a problem. So if you got to take a second to figure something out, do what you got to do.
No, my problem right now is that, I'm kind of just like yourself. I'm kind of tired after this. I hadn't had a free weekend since, I think, at least a month. I'm actually taking off 3 days after Wednesday, including the weekend.
After you're
I
done
feel so
hot
excited.
mixing
Yeah, exactly.
I can't.
I'm gonna have a free weekend. Damn, this is so cool. I'm so excited.
I'm gonna go see
I'm gonna
Dragon
get-
Force tonight and then take tomorrow off, sort of. So,
I'm gonna go out, have a drink, and shit like that, like normal people do.
because that's still an important thing, even if we as not normal people apparently don't do that.
I'm a roguelike developer. It's as far from normal as it gets.
True. Yeah, that's out on the fringes, even in as far as game dev is concerned. But yeah,
This guy. Like normal people look at game developers and they're like, oh, those are those weird guys who. I mean, look on programmers, like those are those weird guys that do code. So programmers look at game developers that way. Oh my god, those are those weird guys that do computer games. And the game dev guys look at those guys. Oh my god, those are those guys that do those games in ASCII.
It's the people who make games. It's the people who make code, the people who make games, and then the people who make games that they don't intend to sell 1 billion copies of.
Something like that.
Can I
Well,
just
speaking
say
like
that
of-
the addition that you made a couple patches ago, where smoke screens gets rid of fire, is the best thing ever.
I don't know if that was quite time ago.
It's quite some time ago, but it's still the best thing ever.
There was this idea of having the elemental effects, somehow cancel each other out. So we had also the wound cauterization through fire. We had obviously the fire and cold interaction. So I think it kind of worked well, especially with the change that bleeding, for example. I don't know if you remember from the patch notes that bleeding right now stops health regeneration, which makes bleeding a perfect counter to warlocks.
Yeah, that makes sense because like it would counteract the aura, right?
Which additionally makes frag grenades in late game actually a useful tool because frag grenades right now cause bleeding. So if you see a pack of warlock plus his minions, you throw a frag grenade and that stops the health regeneration.
I've just been sticking to the just stack smoke grenades for Dante strat because I can just like throw a smoke grenade into the middle of a busy room and it just deals with it generally. But that's a neat little tidbit. Hey, audio.
Hey, audio coaster.
But we have my route options now. I've got Habitat, I've got Mines, I've got Rift, and I got Barracks. Those are my options.
Habitat or Rift? Your choice.
Let's go Habitat. It's closer.
Okay.
It's on level 3 instead of Hub, and I don't like Hub. So we're gonna go 3. Wait, what? I had this Fire Fiend follow me, and he just like left. Where did he go? There you are. Just walked away.
That was the last patch, Canyon Mat. Oh my god, I can't see on this small screen.
There was a lot of things that I feel like I kind of missed off of the last patch, and I think part of what it was is
you're discovering part of those right now.
Yeah, I just didn't play as much of the last patch as I did previous patches, because the last patch just kind of, not that it was a good patch, it just felt like after the difference between like 0.9 and then 1.0 was just so massive that it was like, well, there's nothing here, but in reality there's a lot of tiny things. It's just a matter of digging for them. So
was the last patch the one that we had the big rebalances in trades? I don't remember.
Yes, it was Varia, which that's the one that gave us
the
grenade
longest
launchers.
patch notes ever.
It was grenade launchers, 1,000,001 fixes, a ton of stuff that was under the hood, and all of the traits got reworked, and a lot of traits got reworked, and a lot of other things.
Yeah, that was a good patch.
It was a good patch, yeah.
Although it was more gameplay-wise than content-wise. This one is more content-wise. The next one will be... I think the next one should be... Maybe not twice as big as this one, but close. Because we are going to do even more work on the level generation, mostly focused around Europa and IO, and add a boss both to Europa and IO if all goes well.
I think I might mute the voice acting so he doesn't try.
I don't even hear it, so
it's pretty low. I actually
can
chat,
do the voice acting
audio?
for him.
How's the audio balancing right now? Just give me a report. Because it looks like it should be good on my end, but
there's nothing here.
But yeah, so this is an example of tiny level 2 now. Because poor level 2 got shrunken.
And also, like, all the Callisto levels right now have, for example, random splatters of blood. I don't know if you noticed.
I did.
And there
notice.
will be more small details, like paper lying on the floor near the desks and shit like that. So we want to add those little details that break the cleanliness of the level. I just realized today that I thought of it. Basically, so it isn't so regular, right?
Yeah.
And for example, the floor is right now broken by irregular 2x2 tiles, also from time to time.
Go into this door.
And I also realized today I really need a new feature that will have absolutely zero gameplay impact.
Security should be here.
I need a Roomba going on the floor, like
Cleaning up blood?
untargetable. No. Like a Roomba. How do you call it? Vacuum cleaner. This automated vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
So exactly. So driving on the floor, but you can't target it. You cannot interact with it. It just like drives around.
Does it like would it? Because here's a way you could make that obnoxious: is make it suck up ammo.
No, it would have literally zero gameplay effects, except the fact that if there's an explosion on the same tile that the Roomba is, it will be broken.
Maybe
I think that would be so fucking ridiculous.
Being a bad person.
Exactly.
We should be able to pet the Roomba.
And you pet the Roomba.com.
And if you examine it, it just says dog.
And
then you can get on the Can You Pet the Dog Twitter. It's great promotion.
No, I really was annoyed by the Can You Pet the Dog, because why is it such a big deal? Can you pet the dog, but there's no counterpart of Can You Pet the cat?
Well, you need cat people
as a
to
cat person,
get together and create counter culture for the meme. That's what you need. You need to combat it by creating a better joke.
Oh yeah, exactly. You should feel. That's a great idea, Geister. Make the player feel extremely bad about destroying the Roomba. Like beep boop boo, something like that.
I played a game last night where I had to stab a cat to death, and it repeatedly to get blood and various other things from it. So
no, that would be an uninstall from me.
It was a little PS1 styled horror game, but cat had a sad story. Although I think killing it actually freed it from whatever realm we were stuck in. I don't know. That game was confusing.
Excuses.
Yeah, all of the excuses. I'm just gonna take Juggernaut. Here, walk away from this mess that I've left myself in.
No fucking ammo. Reload.
Is Callisto level 3? What kind of level? Oh yeah.
Yeah, I walked out of the elevator and there was two guys came from the hallway behind me, and then the room was already full, so I was like,
I'm currently considering whether, because from time to time you see those vents from the floor, right? There's smoke coming through it, and I was starting to think about whether to make that smoke actually work like smoke. So basically have an effect of and vision block. And in some places the version would be with obviously with gas instead of smoke. It would provide another kind of an environmental element to the game.
Have a slight
and
chance
also
of it outputting poison instead.
And also there was one thing that we wanted to do for this patch, but unfortunately it had to be cut. There will be a change to the turrets, and it will be nice.
Actually take the revolver. I keep putting myself in the dumbest spots because I'm talking and playing video games when you're talking to another human being is difficult.
It's much more difficult than talking to yourself.
Lockdown now. Well, talking to myself is easy because I don't actually think about what I'm saying. I just regret it later. I'm completely pincered in here right now, though.
Actually, it's the difference between talking and listening. It's much more easier to talk when playing a video game than to listen.
I'm dead.
Oh, come on, you didn't even get to the branch.
Nope. Because I went to walk down here, and there's a turret right south of that chest. Right?
I think your mistake was disregarding the lockdown.
I think if I took a left and just went up, I would have been fine. I was trying to get into that room down there so I could have some sort of cover, but that turret's just completely screwed me over here. But yeah.
The lighting change, by the way, with the lockdown is new.
Yeah, I like that detail. Looks nice. All right, let's try that again.
We finally can do changes of. Hey, maybe considering that you're actually going to speak, maybe take medium.
Let's do.
Because medium while doing a conversation is hard.
Fine. Keeping it on.
Okay, but if you don't get to a branch.
If I don't get to a branch this time, I will definitely put it over to,
back to
lower
medium.
difficulty. I blame my own
6 shots should
idiocy.
be enough for everybody.
There are some, as I said, a lot of time was spent on technical improvements, but those technical improvements can be seen in some of the details. Like, for example, the fact that we couldn't... anyone that has been hearing about the development of this game knows that the world that you see and the world that is being simulated are two different things. So, because, for example, we want to support the ASCII version at some point, we didn't have I didn't have the tech written to actually do changes in the world that are visual and that stay, instead of being just the effect. So, for example, those light changes during the lockdown event, that was possible only now after the changes to the code base. It's something that I intended to do from the beginning when I introduced lockdown, but never was able to implement that.
I just want to.
Another change is those persistent decals, so the blood on the floor or any kind of additions to the visuals of the level, which was not possible before.
I just think it's amazing that I've done random class 3 times in a row and gotten technician every single time.
Well, maybe the game is happy about the smoke change.
Must be.
Let me check that for you, Canyon Mutt. I think I can access the data and tell you precisely.
My guess is it would be a third.
No, that's very optimistic.
For-
90%. 90% is
Yeah,
Windows.
I was gonna say 90%. Okay. I was gonna say a third would be non-Windows users, but
In the beginning, during the early access, there was a weird thing compared to other games that we had more Linux users than Mac users. But right now, I think we moved more to the general average.
can I put in a request right now?
Mm-hmm.
So right now I have a character outline, right? If I could get an outline around the outside of a wall, like around the outside of like all of the walls around every room, like almost like an LED light strip along the bottom, would be incredible. Because I can't see this thing here really until I bump
This
into it,
thing
and I've almost
is
died because
visually very problematic. I understand that. I mean, what I think about is adding LEDs to that thing instead of all the game. The problem with visual outlines for the whole level would be that there's no way to do it programmatically. Damn it, English is hard.
Yeah,
So we would have to like manually edit all the tile sets and every single tile to actually add those outlines.
I get
And
you.
that's a lot of work.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean,
Speaking
this
of-
is work that I would be willing to do, but not. I mean, not when there's so much, feature stuff to be added.
Yeah. I mean, even just putting a light bulb on that thing would be enough. But those are hard to see for me at the very least.
But I know feedback is in not only from you that those things are problematic,
Okay.
especially when they're not from the north, when they're from the south.
Yeah, there's another one down here actually that I could walk back to, which is like there's 2 on either side of that door on the bottom of here.
Okay, where's the breakdown of the? Can't find the breakdown for the.
Blood for the blood god.
Okay, let's try again.
So because Callisto
So
level
I'll-
2 now is so small, do we get less XP?
Yes, but this is offset by the fact that you will probably get more XP in the branches
We got
if you go
Valhalla.
for the branches, and there's more XP to be gained in Spaceport also.
But we have
Come on,
access to
how hard is it to find the split of?
I wonder if there's gonna
Okay,
be
I'm giving
any
up.
kind of
I'm
a-
spending too much time trying to find those splits. Ask me later in chat, and I'll do it off stream, Canyon Matt.
I'm just trying to I'm just curious to see if there's going to be any noticeable increase in Linux player bases with the Steam Decks sneaking out to people.
Oh, Audio Coaster, by the way, it always worked on M1 Max. It just had a bug that made it so that the background was white. But we did fix the bug in 1.2, so that one's fixed already. It works on Max, but Oh, damn, Max.
That just seems like it was like forcibly conforming to Macintosh's visual aesthetics of a blinding white.
Yeah, this sounds like that, but it was more a bug in the driver, I think.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
Barrels of fun.
Oh, volatile storage. I'll take it.
No, we didn't change the color of the blue clear level.
There's a lot
Oh, I
of
wish
colors
I-
that feel like they've changed. There's a lot of colors that feel like they changed.
Mhm.
I don't know if you made any lighting changes at any point.
Lighting, yes, but
Does
no
kinda feel
UI.
like it.
No UI color changes, but lighting changes were done all across the board. Most importantly, there were a lot of lights added to levels that were because Callisto was generally very dark. So we tried also to address this feedback and make add more light sources to the generated levels, and add a little stronger light sources too. And it also another funny thing is that it turned out that part of the code that generated lights was buggy, and some of the lights were not visible. So in some places, like for example, this light under the items, due to the fact that it was badly directed, it was barely visible. So we didn't make it stronger or add it. We just fixed the bug. Because every icon underneath has a small little light. It's especially visible in darker places.
The game feels a lot more colorful after that change was made, or that fix, I guess.
Which is I think is good. Less Doom 3, more Doom 2016.
I mean, even Doom 3 had a lot of color in it. It was just muted.
Well, the same was here. Like we didn't change the values of the colors. We just pulled out lights, which
Just turned on the lights. That's basically it.
yeah. There's more in terms of lighting and shadows and normal maps that needs to be fixed because I ran into some errors that I've noticed. So in general, the game will also look a little bit better. Hopefully next patch once I get to that, because I haven't been touching the visual, like the graphics side, the rendering side. I haven't been touching that since early access, even maybe before that, because we had Olgert working on when Olgert was creating the Vulkan renderer. He basically rewrote that whole part of the code, and I ended up in a situation that I couldn't make changes there because I was unfamiliar with it, and I need to get familiar with it to do any changes, and I'm finally going to find time for that. Yeah.
Because I know that I'm going to be resetting at the end of Callisto, I don't know what perks to take. Because normally I'm just like, I'm going to work towards this master trait. Now I'm like, I don't know, put points in this.
You'll still make it. Remember that you'll still get your master trait on Callisto, so you'll still get your master trait for the boss fight, but you'll get only level 1. So think about which level 1 master trait is actually going to be useful for you.
I think I'm just going to go for entrenchment, which is what I've been staring at since the start. It's like, eh. Entrenchments is useful. Not the most flashy, but...
Yeah, but I will have to tweak some values in the boss fight, I already see. Because there's a whole mechanic that didn't trigger, because reasons.
Because
I
I
hope it
broke
will-
it? Or...
No. There's nothing broken, it's just the mechanic worked the way it was, but I hope it will trigger now, so I will be able to explain it.
Okay.
If it doesn't, then I'll explain it anyway.
It is kind of cute. Now we have, like, a baby final boss.
Chunker.
Our little chunker.
Because, yeah, he turned out so chunky that I'm calling it Chunker. Because my brother calls his cat Chunker.
That's the official
Because he's quite chunky.
Fucking man.
first boss nickname now, Chunker. Because I already forgot what the canonical name is.
Warden.
Warden.
Oh, speaking of technical changes, like before this patch, we couldn't do things like put a gap right beside a wall. if we put a gap right beside the wall, you would get black squares and missing tiles. So that made gap placement in levels a lot. You would have to be a lot more careful and couldn't try to make more interesting layouts. And now we can do that. So we finally slowly are taking advantage of it. But the biggest changes that this incurs will be visible later, especially in the caves. Once we add, because this needs to be added per tile set, and right now in caves we cannot have a gap beside a wall. But once we add that, the cave's geometry will become much more. I hope that the levels, both visually and gameplay-wise, will become much more interesting. Valhalla terminal, that's great.
And I've got the
and a
hunt.
hunt.
I'm not happy about that, but it's fine. I'll just find a corridor to hide in and pray.
So Valhalla terminal is where this whole patch takes its name from, right?
Yeah. This is why I kind of figured you were recommending I go this way.
And it was the first, when it comes to the branch changes, this was the first idea that I had. So afterwards, I came up with mechanics for the other branches.
I feel like out of all of the branches in Callisto, this is the one I would traditionally take the least.
Just one request: don't quickly leave the level.
Don't
before
quickly leave
before you leave the level, there's one thing that I want you to do.
For this floor, or?
Yeah, you can go to the storage room if you want, but not leaving the level completely.
Just like wish you had a grenade. That's how I feel right now. We're okay. Too bad. Kind of annoying that there's a drone down south of me, but
I think I'm going to grow silent when I see that you're in a situation that requires more focus.
no, it's fine. As long as I'm not the one who has to talk. But I'm also playing slowly, so I think I'm just going to stim. Could duck into the storage room, couldn't I? But I can't now because you're. Glad I took the. What other weapons do I have? I got the. I'll swap to the revolver. Probably the right thing to do here. Let's take you out. Take that stim pack I just gave myself. Shoot you. Shoot you. Take you out.
That slow actually is now making work.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite change so far, but that's also because I played Technician every single time. I think I've got everything I need for entrenchment. Probably just...
Sustain fire?
Yeah, probably. It was kind of between that or like... Order.
Or Cover Master.
Just gonna duck into here.
There's
Take
a
the med
heal.
kit. Yeah, there's a healing orb back there, but I can duck in here, reload this revolver. No, we can just duck back out. And I'll spawn in here, and now I have cover. Alright, that's not too bad. Now there's 3 dudes left on this map, apparently. Or rather, there's 3 that I can see. So I'm assuming that that's all 3 of them. So yeah, we're good. I got a little hairy for a second there, but we're good.
The hunter becomes the hunted.
Hunt, it can be a very, very, very stressful map modifier.
Especially on Dante.
On any floor where there's like things all around you too.
I mean, if you're low on supplies, I agree with people that basically a Dante hunt is it's a run ender.
Yes. Can absolutely just kill you. Well, we're done with sustained fire, so that's good. I can just clear, because this floor is clear now, so. The fear is gone, currently.
Be sure to visit the terminals. Oh, there's a terminal here.
Yeah. I think I'll just clear the map and then I'll look at the terminals. Because that's kind of the order that I normally do things. Otherwise, I will forget what I'm doing. hit cell.
You stopped bumping the how do you call them? The vending machines.
Yes, you are correct. I have not bumped
But
into
you're
a
right.
single vending
But
machine.
you're right. It's a great idea to have them turn off the self-elimination on bump.
Yeah, if the light goes out, then I will know which ones to hit. But right now, I don't know which ones I've bumped into and which ones I haven't. So I'm gonna go through them all at once.
Oh, by the way, I forgot about a feature. Go to the place where there's weapons lying around.
Sure.
Look at the weapon. Any weapon, actually, that's lying around.
That's ammo, not a weapon. It says
No,
versus.
not-
But what am I looking for?
Oh, you took a VS-44 Hunter rifle, so turn off equipment. Turn on equipment.
Yeah. What's the VS mean?
Well, everything is stated.
Oh, I see. Valsec. It's a perk. It's like a
So
scope.
every non-advanced and non-unique weapon that drops in the Valhalla terminal has the Valsec manufactured rate, which means all of them are 25% damage against robotic enemies.
I'm not knocking their security protocols or anything, but when like the majority of your like fighting force is robots, why would you like make the job of anybody breaking in significantly easier?
No, the idea is that they are carrying those weapons, right?
In case the robots turn on them, I guess.
Well,
Just
they're good
in
with robots, basically.
Some crazy guy walks into the hacking terminal and presses the button. But that's cool.
So
Interesting.
Interestingly enough, also not advanced weapons, but exotics also will have the manufacture perk, which in some cases can lead to some very powerful effects. And there are currently 3 manufacturers. There's one for Mimir, one for Valhalla, and one for both Mines and Rift. And you can activate a lockdown here.
I could, but I mean,
Do it.
activate lockdown. So is this the thing that you want me to do before I leave?
Yes.
Okay. I will press the button. The lights are red now. Now we get to fight the snake of seems to be what? These guys?
Bad position, I think.
Yeah.
Oh no, actually it's
we're
okay.
okay. I've got cover. On both sides. I mean, it's not ideal, and I shouldn't be using the gun that I'm using. Now it's
Actually, it has plus 25 against robotic enemies, so there was a point in using it.
just gonna walk away. Oh no, they lost me. Where did he go? Okay, well, I guess I will go around. Right here.
Yeah, they have the hunting information only until they see you. After they see you, they may lose you.
Interesting.
That's like a implementation detail. Look out for your health.
Yeah, I know. They have a habit of getting into cover in places that I'm not a fan of right now. There you go. Now this other one lost me again. There you are. Perfect. Okay.
What more?
Now that's all of them. Or now that's all of them. I don't know if you were caught up.
Up. There was a drop. There's a drop. There's a drop.
There's a blue key, I think is what you're talking about.
Yep. And like I said, still not edible.
Blue key card with a logo of Valhalla Security. Probably not edible either. Useless? Definitely useless. If I get enough of them, can I make a card castle? Then they wouldn't be useless. Sometimes I've had enough red cards that I probably could make a card castle. Okay, so I guess activating the lockdown is how you get that card then, I would assume. Alright, well, let's go do the storage room. And we can move forward. Because I know how Valhalla used to end. I'm assuming that that's how you get into the final area. for Valhalla now.
Oh, it's different. It's a little bit different.
I'm assuming it's something similar. How different?
Try
can it be?
not to spoil.
I'm trying not to die, so.
Which might be quite problematic right now. You're down to your last medkit.
Depends on whether or not this guy next to me dies willingly.
Depends how fast that Calsec bot will die.
Reload,
Oh, come on. I mean, they do all sorts of fancy things on corners. Okay. There we go. Now I'm like
But yeah.
significantly more cocky. You.
Yeah, but remember that you have basically no healing left.
Yeah, I know.
See you in hell, fuckers.
All right. Well, I also have better armor now, and an SMG that'll run out of ammo really fast.
Okay, the hungry SMG.
Yeah, the very, very, very hungry SMG. I got better armor though, so that's good. One thing that's a benefit. I really should just be playing like Marine on repeat. Yeah, I'm not gonna take the hungry SMG. Well, also because interesting. So I guess these weapons down here don't get the VS
Nope.
perk because they're just in the storage room. They're only the storage defense. They don't get the.
Actually, they would, but it was too complicated to implement in the time allotted. So it's a technical decision, not how do you call it? Not conscious decision.
All right. Well, that's that whole area done, and I'm still out of healing items, but I have 4 multi-tools left. So I'm not totally...
Ah, yes, that should make your situation much better.
So now I have 2 healing items. Didn't I drop a helmet over here? I'd swear I dropped that a helmet dropped around here somewhere. Unless I'm going crazy, which is possible. I should stop dawdling around anyway.
In retrospect, I think you should have used 1 charge to heal instead of.
Yeah, you might be
hard
right.
to tell.
It depends on what I run into in the first few areas of the next zone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Rest them to pieces.
So now we've got the long revolver. I can keep the rifle, and I've got a shotty now. Oh, you know, we're better geared. We can go.
Yes, you don't visit this branch very often, but one thing I can tell you, it was much more empty than it is now in terms
Yes.
of visual clutter.
You want to know why I don't visit this branch very often? It's always very large and empty and kind of uninteresting in comparison to some of the other branches. And
Well, it slowly gets better.
this may come as a shock, but I try to do things that are entertaining to both myself and audience. So if an area is less interesting than other areas, it is significantly less likely that I will play as much of it. Hope it
Like
comes to me.
this 36 health stresses me out.
Yeah, it's stressing me out too. It's like the if I get hit once, I need to heal kind of deal. It's okay, it's just forcing me to play carefully, which frankly I probably need. He says that as he doesn't play carefully.
Yep. Avoidable damage.
Avoidable damage. Isn't all damage avoidable?
I'm always so cocky when I say what should have been done, and on the other hand, I don't remember playing a legit game of Jupiter Hell since 2018.
Like since
What I need to
you
do-
played without God mode on?
What I need to do is when I get back to streaming, I need to
Wait.
take some time and do a legal run of Jupiter Hell and see how much I suck.
Well, back down to 1 medkit again. That's pretty good. Also doesn't help that, I just did that power run where I wasn't trying even remotely.
Yeah, I should have started with ultra-violence and then toned down.
Yeah, if I started on ultra-violence, this would have been a breeze. All right. Moving through. I can, like, fix my helmet now or hope I get a new helmet. One of the two.
Don't make me talk about diamonds. I don't know how people actually get those either.
I don't know how people, like, finish half of the stuff that they complete in this game. Like,
mean,
every
was
now
it,
and again, somebody who I don't know will pop a stream up in the middle of the night and it'll be, like, ultra-violence, not a, like, I don't even know. I don't know how you're not dying.
Tormius, who was always a long-time 2MRL player that now plays Jupiter Hell also. Recently, he had an unsuccessful, but only because he entered Dante Inferno, an unsuccessful run at Masterless Explorer Apocalypse.
Master... Oh, boy.
Masterless Explorer on Apocalypse.
But that's like one person who can do that. Nobody else can do that.
No, that's not true. Luxydream here was here, maybe still is, and chat would probably be also able to do that. Tone probably would be able to do that.
If I actually took my time, there's a hypothetical possibility I could maybe do something similar to that.
Need to reload.
And yeah,
Problem is
there's.
I don't take my time.
I think there's like 5 at least players that I've seen that do, stuff on that level.
And of course, chat room, if you guys have questions or things you want to like demand of Epion to do when he starts streaming again, we're open. Sneak through here, slowly itching away at my own health pool. There's what I'm looking for. Hallelujah.
Yeah, I really hope those best players will actually find the secret.
I mean, I won't, so someone has to. They have to write the guides so that I can find said secret. So I guess I can just activate a lockdown on every floor in this branch now, yeah? Kind of.
That pilot guy, depends what you mean about stats. Like, everything that is saved you can see in player data. Everything else is not saved. What we want to add in at some point is to have a... Because right now only the last Mortem is stored, but we want to have like a Mortem log of your past runs, so it will store every one of those, including, hopefully at some point, the replay, so you'll be able to have the whole run replayed and can send the replay to somebody else. The replay tech is actually in the game since 4 or 5 years, but it was always buggy and I didn't have time to fix the related bugs because it was never a high priority. But the randomness in the game is made so that a replay is basically the initial seed and all the actions that you take. And within that you can replay the whole game, so the replays are really small. They have nothing to do with video, just with input and random seed.
A win-loss
I think
by
win-loss-
difficulty level? That is there.
You can
That's
see
in
the-
stats, I think.
Yeah, you can see in player data how many games you played and how many times you died, and I guess you could calculate the win-loss ratio.
I got a clutch stim pack from a vending machine. Which is actually
Woody
really
Coaster,
helpful.
it's easier for me because I was thinking about it from the beginning, so it's only like small edge cases that are problematic. There are no like big issues with it right now. The only thing that we'll need to do is, for example, when saving the replays, we will probably save like at least at the start of every level, because the problem with replays based on player input is that the game is not reversible, so you cannot like play a turn backwards. So if you want to go back in time in a replay, you have to jump back to the beginning of the replay. If we would do partial saves every level, then you could, rewind the replay back to the beginning of the level. If we would implement it so that you could do the replay without triggering the graphics engine, then we could probably even go back a step.
Like having a rewind function? In the replays? Or in
which
the
is
game itself?
which is quite problem. If you see any kind of replays in games that have them professionally, like StarCraft,
Yeah.
going back in time is always more problematic than going forward, just because they are built on the same idea of technology. It's the random seed and the inputs that are stored.
This level generation is a lot more claustrophobic.
Well, because there's more, junk lying around.
This is true, yeah. Stuff getting in the way of my...
Okay, find yourself a good position this time.
I'm not sure if this is a good one. It depends on which hallway they decide to take.
It depends if you're going to be surrounded or not. And I think you are going to be surrounded, so
Okay.
it depends on how quickly will you be able to take those 3 out. Got any nades?
Don't need them.
Okay. And yeah, I guess you can wait for those here.
Now I
Yeah,
just need to
this
figure out
this should be much cleaner than the last one.
Watch me mess it up again. My impatience will kill me. It's fine.
Angel of impatience.
It me. Screw this
What?
stupid door.
That's the big one.
Yeah, the tall guy is at the back. It's okay.
No fucking ammo. Reload.
Yeah, obviously the size of the force that's going to be activated by lockdown depends on difficulty, if anybody wonders.
I mean, I would hope it wouldn't send 4 sentries and a large sentry against somebody on easy. That would be kind of awkward.
Does the branch have 3 levels or 2 levels?
Let's find out.
I think
3.
3 levels. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When it comes to the gameplay, I'm visually behind around 5 seconds, I think, or 4 seconds.
That's not too bad, except for bad fights.
Heal, damn it! Oh, you're dead.
We just got that one spawn that always just makes me think that I suddenly like quit and then respawned in arena mode because it looks like that.
Indeed.
Like that room, minus some doors on the one side.
Yeah, which reminds me, I need to take the trials and to probably in the end game update we'll do also upgrades to the trials. Right
they
now
not
we're
have
just
visuals
making
as
sure they
well,
don't break, because it turned out that the current update broke the current update broke 3 of the 5 trials.
Really?
Yeah, I fixed almost all of them except for haste. Haste is fixed locally, but not in dispatch. If you would play haste in dispatch, it would crash when entering the special level in Callisto. Yeah, it's always the problem with computer games that I don't know if many people realize, is that the more shit you have, the more when you add something new, the more shit can break, right? It's especially a problem with big games like Destiny, for example.
Which is why they keep removing content.
Precisely, that's the point. It's a question of whether do you want to have new content twice as fast, or do you want them to keep all the content that was in the game? And between those two, I understand that they picked the idea that they want to deliver new content faster. It's not even a question of money or people, it's a question of time spent testing old stuff. So these are problems that you cannot fix by throwing more money at a company, because it just literally takes time to test over every piece that might be affected by a change.
There's a
So
purple
yeah,
door.
Destiny gets a lot of bad flack for removing stuff, but from my point of view, I think they did the best thing possible. Oh, by the way, Destiny added a new feature. It's called manufacturer perks in the new update. Have you heard about that?
I don't believe I've ever played Destiny.
No, but it's not fully stolen, but it's not a full coincidence either.
That you also
Like
have manufacturer perks for different levels?
Precisely that. The
Good
initial
idea.
idea was to add branch only weapons, right? So for example, that you could find a type of rifle that is only found in Valhalla. But then I realized that I would be, changing just slight stats and also this would be just one weapon, so it wouldn't affect most of the builds. So then I realized when I heard about that Destiny is doing manufacturer perks, and the whole system of perks in Jupiter Hill is actually inspired by the perks of Destiny. So then I realized, hell, yeah, that's a better idea. Let's have drops from a given branch, just have a manufacturer perk. So it kind of goes that way, which is funny that Jupiter Hill has more things that were inspired by, triple A looter shooters than by other roguelikes.
You develop what you play.
Yeah, probably
Games
somehow
you like
that.
playing, right?
No, it's more about the fact that I think that for my whole career, I loved the idea of adapting stuff. Like the whole idea of Dumarel was how can you adapt a FPS shooter into a turn-based roguelike game, and it was how do you call it? I liked the challenge in that, right? How to make mechanics that actually translate those ideas. So being inspired by non-roguelike games actually makes sense in that regard, because this is like the same kind of work. You're trying to translate some mechanics that you see in the non-roguelike games into, a roguelike approach.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. That being said,
Yeah,
a
so-
Destiny roguelike would probably be pretty cool.
Well, the problem with a Destiny roguelike is that within the lore they have built in save and load.
True.
So it kind of breaks the whole permadeath idea, because, in the lore you can actually be resurrected. So how can you make a permadeath game around that?
Mind erasing, I don't know. I was thinking more just like the way the character models look and the way the enemies behave would just make for interesting mechanics. But
Yeah, if Bungie ever contacts me, I'll gladly do that. But I'm not risking making another something like just to have a CND on my door.
well, this time it
At
would be
least
Sony going after you because they just bought Bungie. It's still weird to me.
Well, that's true. But I don't know if you or the people in the chat know, there's a very big, interesting connection between roguelikes and Destiny. From Destiny's side, not from roguelike's side. The creative director of Destiny 2, which was also the lead artist on Destiny 1, I think, I might be wrong, you would have to check that, is Christopher Barrett. And Christopher Barrett is known in the roguelike world as Oryx, and is the author of the Oryx tileset, which is used by many, many roguelikes, which was made specifically for roguelikes.
'Cause I do know that name. Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So he was the creative director of Destiny 2. Right now he stepped down for Joe Blackburn, and he's a roguelike guy.
I've got a really strong shotgun. Alright, I've got to unlock a vault, do the vault, and then I've got to start another lockdown. As floor 3 is clear.
My favorite shotgun is definitely the super shotgun.
This is one of the better early game shotguns.
Actually, super I think is mid-game drop.
The fact that I got this here actually kind of shocks me. The focus shotgun is basically just the shotgun from Serious Sam, because you can just like snipe people with it.
Athros. So the funny thing is that what's the final boss's name of Destiny 1 in the Taken King expansion? The final boss, the big bad hive, is called Oryx, and it's not a coincidence. I'm pretty sure that Christopher Barrett's nickname Oryx was earlier than the boss name, but I might be wrong on that.
Read up on Isle Fuckhead.
Which, when I realized that, and considering how much time I spent playing Destiny, it was pretty funny for me. I never met Christopher Barrett personally, though, so I kind of regret that.
Opportunities for those things always come later.
Well, at GDC, but I still feel bad for skipping GDC this year, but there was no other option.
Yeah, I mean.
Also, I would be so fucking tired. Because if I would be going to GDC, that means that I would have to fly Thursday.
Is GDC
right
happening
after?
right now?
Yeah,
That was
right
in like
now.
a month.
It starts next Monday, not this one, but next Monday. Yeah, Merc Domolit, yes, he knows about Jupiter Hell, and he played a lot of Dumorel too. We spoke at one time that we were. There was a plan of making a Lovecraft-inspired roguelikes with his tiles and my code, but unfortunately it never came to pass. It was the time when I was still working apart from making roguelikes, so I didn't have a lot of time to commit to a project, which is really sad because I would really love to have a game that I made with him.
Working.
And also that is not so surprising because there's a surprising amount of known game developers that know Jupiter Hell and Dumorel or Dumorel.
It's like
Which makes me happy.
The deeper you get into roguelikes, the more you realize that like I guess kind of the combination of like roguelikes just have a lot of connections to the demo scene in general. And if you're in either of those scenes or like game jams, then like those tendrils just kind of just go to the rest of the industry pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Time to do another one of these lockdowns.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that classic roguelikes are overrepresented in terms of games played by game developers. compared to compared to other types of games. Like almost, I think every game designer worth his money actually heard about NetHack and knows what a roguelike is.
It's kind of bad of me, but I'm at the point now where if I encounter people who haven't heard of I've kind of felt this way for a while, but like if I encounter people who haven't heard of NetHack, I kind of judge their legitimacy in games, especially if they work in this industry.
I'm a game developer. What do you think of NetHack? What is NetHack? Okay, thank you.
That or like maybe they were born after the year 2000. Which at that point, then maybe I'll give them credit.
Still, it makes me feel bad because, I played NetHack maybe once.
Yeah, but you have to at least know about NetHack.
Yeah, I know about it, but what I don't like about NetHack is like, most of it was somebody talked in chat about this, and you talked about it that many roguelikes are wiki dependent. But you can still, for example, play Adam, despite the fact that it is one of those that actually is wiki dependent, and you can still have fun with it. But in NetHack, I think if you're not wiki diving, you're just going to get frustrated.
I don't think you'd ever finish Adam without a wiki.
Yeah, probably not. That's...
Without a wiki or without save scumming. I think if you save scum, you can beat it without a wiki.
Yeah, you can. Otherwise, it will take a lot of time.
Yeah, there was a post on the roguelike subreddit maybe sometime last year that was literally just how long did it take you to beat Adam? And it was like, there was one person who said never used a wiki, never used a guide, never save scummed. It was like 11 years or something. Approximately. It was like about 11 years of playing the game a couple times a week. All right, we've made it to Valhalla Command.
Let's see if we can shut this party
Yeah,
down.
if you played roguelikes, I think you can quickly beat Jupiter Hell on hard after 10, 20 hours.
This isn't to knock against this game at all, but in comparison to what I consider to be the norms for traditional roguelikes, Jupiter Hell is extremely accessible.
Also easy when you play on lower difficulties compared to traditional roguelikes.
Yes. It's certainly not easy anything
if you
hard
play
up.
Ultra violence or up, yeah, it stops being easy. But you know, the difficulty is not because you're not spoiled and you know you have.
We're okay. We're okay. So don't worry. We're good. I know you're delayed. We're good. Stimpack to the rescue. This guy just didn't want to die.
Well, that was the big one.
Which is, I think,
There's
the
one. There's one Guardian bot, and the rest are regular Calcing bots. And
I
the
wasn't
one
sure if that
Guardian
had
bot
changed.
actually has a rocket launcher.
Yeah, the rocket launcher kind of caught me off guard.
The enemy composition here hasn't changed.
Okay. Also this guy.
Oh, there are 2 Guardian bots. Oh yeah, because this is hard.
Lying to me.
This is so exciting. I don't know if you're already dead or not.
I'm not dead. I can assure you. You'll hear an oh if I die. Don't worry.
That hit the spot.
The second one kind of caught me off guard there now because I was expecting only one. I'll walk around.
Yeah, I forgot about that one too. Well, I don't play this game, so how could I know?
You just made it. That's you don't play it. You just made it.
There's a big difference.
Yes.
I know there are some people that, like for example, Kizrati of Cogmind, he plays this game a lot, and he knows it really well. I have a completely different approach in that regard. Which is, I feel bad about that. I should play more Jupiter Hell.
I remember there was one time when this game was still in early access when I raided him, and you were in the chat. You were just like, "Man, I think that your ability to beat your own game might have something to do with its current success."
Oh crap!
We're okay. Trying to decide if I should just use the versus focus shotgun. Swap.
Yeah, but shotguns aren't great against bots. But on the other hand, this one has a bonus, so.
Seems
Might
fine.
not be bad.
It seems like the bonus is completely negating the debuff, actually. So I'm not getting, like, red, don't use this on this unit.
Oh, indeed.
Anyway, I think that's the floor, pretty much. There's 3 units left, so they're further away.
And there's a health kit here somewhere.
I think Angry Healer does have a point, actually, about this game not being wiki bit dependent, but does have some things that'll just kill you if you're not necessarily expecting them. Or even like if you step into Inferno not realizing what it is.
Angry Healer, that's a good point. And I actually would... I like to know about all those situations because, for example, the cyber suit is okay because it's a drop, right? If a drop does something unexpected, it's, you know, you got a random item which doesn't affect the general gameplay. It's not like you always have to have a cyber suit to win the game. So in terms of items having gacha mechanics, that's okay. But in terms of, for example, Scavenger working on ammo stations, I understand the problem that it's a gacha mechanic. And to be honest, I plan on basically rethinking and basically taking Scavenger back to the drawing board because I'm not happy with the way it works, and it definitely shouldn't have this interaction with ammo stations that it does. But instead of, you know, changing the interaction with the ammo stations, I'd rather, you know, remake the way that Scavenger actually works for it to be much more approachable and more intuitive. There are a couple of mechanics that are still like on the drawing table that I want to... that I think that could be improved. Yeah, exactly. It is clunky, and that's my big issue. Ba-ching!
So if I shut down CalSec, is it going to break those doors?
No, shutdown CalSec is free.
Okay. Interesting.
But hack CalSec costs 2 Valsec keycards, which you would need to open those doors.
Interesting. Okay. So I can either open all 3 doors or 1 door, basically.
Actually, or none doors, because there's a third option.
Third option.
Decisions.
I don't see a third option.
because it's hidden underneath the first one. But go to one of those doors, but don't open it. I just need to make sure that the feature works.
Entrance to
Like,
supply storage.
Yeah, it works. Okay, because it didn't work in the beginning and.
Entrance to weapon storage. Entrance to armor storage. Okay, so we have a choice between armor, weapon, or supply. I do actually need supply, but I guess for the sake of this current playthrough, which one would you prefer that we do?
It doesn't matter. To be honest, doesn't matter. You can leave hacking Calcic for another run.
All right.
And just open all 3 doors. The point is, right now, it's a real decision because it actually affects what will happen. It affects not only basically it affects the spaceport level, right?
Yeah.
If you're on a if you'd be on a shotgun build without a sensible shotgun against bots, it would obviously be very beneficial to hack Calsec.
Yeah, okay. And I'm assuming hacking Calsec just makes everything come to your side.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, like, I've played this game. I know what that term means. And auto repair padded armor? Sure. I will disassemble my armor for that.
Who's a man of the half?
Worth noting here that it's marine armor, not basic armor.
Yes. So it's 1 tier up.
Mm-hmm.
Which actually, I had somebody in my chat once that was confused about that because they just assumed that because it was marine armor, it would be worse on any class that wasn't a marine. They were like, I'm happy that I'm playing a marine because I keep finding this marine armor. I was like, well, one of those like, should I tell them?
There's okay. Well, there is nothing in the game that states that this is interaction, so.
I think it's an assumption.
Angry healer, not exactly, because scavenger is supposed to solve, lessen the ammo problem, and we still want to make it so that it's a pick that if you want to keep a gun fed, that's not for whose ammo is not very common late game. Scavenger should be a way to circumvent that, but the clunkiness is with the that you have to switch to a given weapon, that you have to watch out for ammo stations and shit like that. So we want to like kind of redesign it so it more works the way that you want it to work instead of the way that it works despite the fact that you forgot something and suddenly converts a whole stack of ammo that you didn't want to convert, right?
I really, really, really like that the special zone at the end of Valhalla, I'm assuming Habitat and the other ones with like the alternate end zone.
All the specials.
I really like that they're returnable now. That's cool.
Yeah, all of them will be returnable. Maybe with.
Hope there's a working dropship.
There might be a how do you call it? Damn it.
Words.
Yeah, words. Most, if not all, will be returnable.
For the
I don't know yet if all will
levels,
be. Yeah,
basically?
for the special purple levels. Yeah,
Gotcha.
all the ones in Callisto right now are returnable.
I guess it kind of depends on what happens in said purple level. I just found a versus quick blade. It's giving me all the purple drops right now. I need to keep saying the word purple.
Wait. This is a piercing weapon that has VS.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's got Alpha Strike, it's got 40
That's
Pierce and Valsec. That's plus 25 over the plus 25%. Oh my, this is a bot killer.
Guns are for wusses.
The
Yeah, Valhalla
Problem is
Spaceport
using it.
is part of the Valhalla terminal actually, so it also has the VS drops, right?
So it's 100% critical. It's 100%. It's 100% chance to crit. Plus the 25% damage. Plus the piercing, like armor negation.
So that's 80 plus 25%. That's
Literally just stabbing a robot to death with a pencil and it just falls over.
it's 100 piercing. It's 100 damage basically against a robot. No, wait. Wait. It's 200 damage against the robot.
Is the boss of this level a robot?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, you can try stabbing him to death.
I mean, what could possibly go wrong? I can also put a
But she
swap
will-
harness on it.
What can possibly go wrong is the damage gate.
Stop ruining my fun.
Yeah, if not for
Playing
the
mechanic.
damage gate, you would one-shot him.
Dang it. I just...
But you will one-shot... this will one-shot all, Crybots and stuff like that.
Yes. Like I said before, though, the problem is just getting next to them.
Yeah.
But man, that would be amazing
Smoke.
for, like, late game, though.
Smoke screen.
True, yeah.
Or stealth on Scout if you have Scout.
Or just
Whoa, this would be
scream
great
in
with
front of them.
Swashbuckler and stealth. You'd be basically sneaking up to a robot and one-shotting him
I'm just
with a
so
knife.
sad I'm not a scout right now. That's like you
That would be so funny.
uh,
So, what do you do about this big scary robot? Well, I pull out a knife, I sneak
stab
up
it-
to
stab
him,
it in the
and stab him!
employment. I just at this point I imagine that like they must have like their AI, their central AI, in like a very predictable spot, and a knife is just the
Yeah,
perfect
and you
tool
just,
for that.
put...
You just stab them. Like, does it make sense?
Yeah.
No, that's okay.
I didn't rethink the pierce slash damage. I mean, I separately gave knives piercing damage and separately decided that bots are, susceptible to pierce damage, but I didn't connect those two. So, and once I finally noticed that people are stabbing bots with knives, I realized that it's too late to go back on that.
Well, if you removed the mechanic by the time that we all figured that out, then it would have, I guess.
Well, no, I mean, it would be sad. Right now, everybody knows that the best thing against big, scary robots is a knife, right?
It's also really, really funny. Like, when you actually think about it, it's just amazing that there's, like, this giant guard bot and then, like, a Marine with a pocket knife just going, I got a butter
Hey.
knife! Run away!
Thank you and see you around, Audio Coaster.
I really like the lower level here. The multi-layered piles to it.
This is also a technology that we developed only recently. It was developed to have lava, right, in the levels, but we didn't use it for anything else. And once I started doing the remake of the Callisto levels, it became obvious that this is a nice use of the lower level. And also we also take a lot of advantage of the fact that we can have gaps by walls.
Ow. Rumbles. I made the mistake of forgetting
That ain't the spot.
where I put that knife. I put it number 2. I thought I put it number 3. Whoops. Oh well. Not dead, just wasted a medkit.
What's your current loadout? The quick blade, the
I got a combat
focus
pistol,
shotgun,
quick
and
blade,
combat
focus
pistol.
shotgun. But I'm gonna swap this to number 3 so that I know where it is. Because I always put blades in number 3, but combat pistol's pretty nice though. Ow. The first time you
chain
start
gun.
running into people with chain guns, it's like, oh my god, just stop. Too early, you're not supposed to be here yet. Which isn't true, but in my mind, they're not supposed to be there yet. Ow. Very inconvenient robot that was giving them cover.
well, it kind of makes sense.
Someone that works
least
with
that's-
robots, if you cut the main cable of the robot. Well, see, we have a audio with the correction that it does in fact work that way.
Well, when you think of it, when you have something, like a big scary robot with guns, it's never designed to be, fighting in close combat, right? It's designed for long-range support.
Interesting that the warden is listed here in the bots list. I didn't notice that because I actually looked at security the last time I came here on the other run, but I didn't notice the warden on there. It's interesting.
Now it sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, it sticks out like a sore thumb. It's like, why do you have 220 HP and everybody else is disabled? Can I hack the warden? If I hack Calsec? Would that hack the warden? I assume
Well,
it would.
you can't hack it, but you can disable it.
I want to bring the warden with me into the next war, but oh well.
It is too fat it is too chunky to fit into the drop.
I'm sure we could tape it to the roof.
Into the drop ship. From jumping from the roof, that would be nice. Yeah, it doesn't have to have, it can fly through space, right? It's a robot.
Doesn't need oxygen. It's fine. I mean, how long are we really in space for? They put people in space for a couple minutes in the Expanse. I'm sure that we could do that with a robot.
Well, considering this is Jupiter, there will be also the question whether it's radiation shielded or not.
Yes.
Callisto is still radiation-wise doable, but Europa is a lot harder. Like, the radiation there is much bigger.
I'm just excited seeing like all of the returnable levels because I'm like, ooh, that's like a thing from Aliens. Because I'm still that guy.
Well, it was the technology was Jupiter Hell didn't need returnable levels, as we could like totally do the whole game without returnable levels. But I wanted to develop the technology also because it was needed for the future, right?
Really sad I don't have smoke screen up. Getting next to this guy is going to be difficult. But I don't know if I'll be able to stab him to death.
Although there's a significant difference in the way that Aliens RL will handle levels, because here, even with the returnable levels, only one is simulated. If you leave a level, nothing happens there. In Aliens RL, at least the way I plan, it will be so that, well, aliens will be moving around and things will be simulated in those levels that you're not present in.
I don't like this row. Trying to like kite him so I can not. Okay, whatever. I guess we'll just... There was this big ol' row of explodey barrels, and I'm just sad that I couldn't just like, get in the way of them. I think I don't have anywhere near enough cover here. I can probably just shoot him.
Fucking reload already.
Right, would help if I reload. I'm really happy that misfiring and not reloading doesn't move a turn forward, because if this was a meaner game...
Yeah, I think in the beginning it was. Like in one of the early versions, when you would fire and not have ammo, it would skip a turn.
Ow.
Okay, accuracy is not bad.
Out of ammo. Reload.
But yeah, I definitely need to lower the damage gauge because you're not triggering the second stage.
Is it supposed to have like a turret or something that comes out, or?
Okay, when you hit it for 40 damage within a single turn, it triggers a different mode. So basically, the idea was so you can't one-shot him, right?
Yeah.
You trigger the damage gate and it transforms then, but it probably should be lower. I mean, right now.
Knife and stab him. Let's see if I can make it. What's the worst that could happen?
Well, you're supposed to reset anyway, right?
Yep, I got 2 medkits.
Junk.
There we go. Got him. He just disappeared, by the way. Or no, he didn't. His body's still there.
Yeah, because he was too low health to be. The damage gate doesn't trigger if he has less than 40 health.
This knife is ridiculous.
Chunk.
Oh hey, there's different like orientations at the docks where the ship's parked can be.
Mm-hmm.
Neat.
The layout is different. Notice that the previous one didn't have the corridors around the blocky parts.
So now we do another one? Try
Yeah.
and do a different route?
I suggest going, yeah. Unless you're really happy about the quick play that you want to continue.
No, I
But
mean,
you're going entrenchment anyway,
see what
so
they're really
you wouldn't
doing
be able
here.
to fully play around with it.
yeah,
Because this is a nice weapon for dual wielding.
if I was an assassin scout, you bet your ass I'd be finishing this run. But no, this will be a abandon, I think. Which, you know, still longer than the game was before early access almost.
Oh, that's true. That's actually true.
I mean, how many levels did I just do? Like including the storage, right? Because it was the 6 levels plus the final Valhalla level plus the storage room. That's what, like 8 levels. So
Yeah, I think in terms of lengthwise, I think we're in the perfect spot right now.
what, like
Because I was
3-ish hours if you play slow.
Because initially I was considering to make each moon 8 levels instead of 7. Like when we increased from 6 to 7, I wanted later to increase. When adding more content, I wanted to increase it to 8, but I think 8 would be too much. I think we're at the perfect point right now when it comes to the length of a single run.
Length of roguelikes is a really difficult subject. Because you ask some people and they're like, we want like a full-length RPG. And then you talk to other
I mean,
people
but
and they're
for
like,
this type of roguelike, right?
yeah.
Obviously, games like Adam or NetHack or Angband would be considered differently when it comes to the length of the game. But
Yeah.
for what Jupiter Hell wants to achieve and for how it's designed, I think that this is the perfect length.
Now let's just make the game wider.
That's the point. And
Instead
make
of
it more interesting in branches. Yeah, so basically, as you now saw, there's a mechanic, right, in the Valhalla branch. There's a mechanic for every current Callisto branch, and we want to make it so that every branch in the game will have some kind of dedicated mechanic. It's not like if you go to Callisto mines, you will be gathering mines keycards.
Gotta
There's a
grab a
different mechanic,
pickaxe.
right? Coming up with those is kind of hard, but I'm still not out of ideas, so I think there will be enough ideas to fill every branch in the game.
Well, are they all using some combination of keycard in doorway?
No. We'll see what you got this run when it comes to generated. I would suggest going either Mimir or Rift.
If I don't get either of those two, I might just reset. But I
No,
think
there's no chance that you won't get either of those because there's 4 different branches and 3 are generated every run.
some reason I'm thinking that there's another one, but I might also just be thinking of Docking Bay, which isn't technically a.
Yeah, it is in the branch.
That's the end of the level, which is probably where my brain's going. All right, let's grab a shotty, shotgun ammo. But yeah, just kind of the thing that I was mentioning is like one annoying artifact of the like mainstream run-based games and action roguelikes and whatever the heck you want to call them. One of the weird artifacts is that people are very used to run-based or games that have any kind of a run element now in the mainstream being like Binding of Isaac length, like a run of Isaac or even a run of like Risk of Rain, even though Risk of Rain can just be like an eternally long game. A run of Risk of Rain is like 50 minutes if you do it right, tops, maybe an hour and a half. And so many, or like Slay the Spire is like what, less than an hour, or like some of them are as short as 20 minutes.
No. Slay the Spire is more than an
Did
hour.
they extend Slay the Spire then? Because Slay the Spire was really short for a while there.
No, wait a second. I played a lot of it, and
Maybe it's the people that
like
I watch.
mentally, I don't think that it's. Yeah. I mean, if you get really fast and if you turn off card animations and you're a pro, but average,
But yeah, I feel like a lot of those games are just getting shorter. So it's weird kind of competing with the mainstream when like I'm used to roguelikes being a lot longer. Like even something like Cogmind is quite a long game depending on how you play it. And then Caves of Cud takes me 2 weeks.
Wow, people are saying really different times.
For Slay the Spire.
Yeah. But it seems 90 minutes.
Yeah, that's about like what I was like. Anywhere from like an hour to 90 minutes is like the streams that I usually watch. I don't play that game myself though.
And I think FTL, which is the other one that I played a lot, is longer, right?
Depends on if you play with pause on or off. If you're pausing, yeah, it can be quite long.
Because I was actually aiming at around 2.5, 3 hours. That was my general idea, because I thought that this, for a game of this type, this would be the perfect length. Like for if it was supposed to be closer to, you know, this. There's a difference in the fact that Jupiter Hell has kind of like the exploring aspect and the turn-based aspect, right? So that immediately puts it into if this would be like a 1 hour game, there wouldn't be much happening during the game itself.
No.
So I think that for a turn-based roguelike, the 3 hour is like, this is like the runtime, right?
Yeah. I think for the turn-based roguelike, especially if it's like just a singular dungeon kind of structure like this and not like a big open world. If it's just a singular dungeon, I think that like every game should just look at Brogue and try and be about as long as Brogue, which is around where this is at right now.
Yeah, I think I could do a 1 hour roguelike with 1 hour runs, but it would have to be specifically designed around those 1 hour runs.
I'm trying to just imagine that as like a game jam now. It's like a 1 hour roguelike, a roguelike that takes 1 hour.
No, I won't
thinking
do
about
it in 1
7ARL
hour.
for way too long.
1 hour roguelike. Hey, Sosowski, a Polish indie developer that makes crazy games, he actually was running for a long time the 0 hour game jam. So the idea was that the game jam took place during the hour that's going backwards when, you know, the time change is. So you make a game in 0 hours because you're doing it in the single hour that, you know, reverts back.
Happens. That's like the game jam that happens once every 4 years on a leap year.
The 0
Which someone
day.
should do, by the way. That's an idea for a new game jam, the once every 4 years on the leap year. So it looks like we're
that's
going
also
Habitat.
a good idea.
We're going Habitat.
Okay, Habitat. Habitat is still similar in many regards to Valhalla Terminal. I've thought about making them more distinct, but it does have its own interesting mechanic. Although I'll spoil you the mechanic once we get there, because the Mimir one is much harder to notice than the Valhalla one.
Is it in the last floor?
No, it's also okay. The idea about the mechanics
I just don't want
is
to run
always
past
that
it, is why I ask.
that there's always something that you need to do on every floor of on almost every floor or on every floor of the branch. Otherwise, it would be just a special level mechanic instead of a branch mechanic.
I can make a blackout on the first floor, but I'm not expecting to need that. Awkward.
Speaking of games, of weird games that inspired Jupiter Hell, actually the branch mechanic idea came from Warframe.
Really?
Yeah, which has not much to do actually with the branch mechanic idea, but I got inspired by the fact that because Warframe is a long-running game, right? They basically have parts of the content that is 10 years, I think, maybe. I mean, it's been rebuilt. Instead of, adding new stuff and removing old stuff, they actually rebuild the stuff they have in the game. So they have a different approach than Destiny in that regard. And when they remade one of the planets, so the tileset for the planet, they also added a special mechanic on that planet alone that you can have like an extra thing about the planet. In each level, you have some kind of terminal that you interact with, and it's a bonus to the planet, despite the fact that it's not a quest. So that made me realize that when I'm remaking tile sets or branches, I could also like go for an idea that it has kind of like a mechanical difference. It's not just, you know, the layouts of the levels, but it also has some kind of like a unique mechanic that's specific to this branch
Fuck this with a
alone, right?
We've got infestation, which is actually kind of fun. And this is about to hurt. Ow.
This is going to hurt.
Yeah, this is... Well, I've got adrenaline. It's fine.
Oh, you're a Marine. That's...
I intentionally took Marine because I was like, well, this will be easier. Because, like, I don't need to worry about resources as much in the early game as Marine, so it's...
Oh, that's true.
Makes my life easier.
What do we have here?
Ooh, new shoddy. Yeah, I took that purely because I'm more confident in the early game with the Marine than any other class.
If you see a non-imp, stop.
A non-imp?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just don't shoot it immediately, okay?
Noted.
Because I realized that I remembered that you're fast. The visuals are faster than.
My brain?
Then. No. I mean, I see with a delay, so I won't be able to say stop at the proper moment.
This is true.
God, it was...
Ooh,
That was an awkward door.
that's a lot of burning.
There's a lot of burning. It's okay. It's a lot less burning now. So I ran into a problem in the first run I did today where there was so much blood on the floor that it wasn't all staying spawned in.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Any idea why that was caused?
Yeah, there are limits to prevent. There are limits to the amount of blood it renders, so it doesn't, you know, hog weaker GPU cards. So I'm either going to make it so that it depends. The limit depends on the graphics level, or I'll increase the limit for everybody, because blood splatter painting isn't that expensive, so I could just, you know, up the limits without much problems. Yeah, I'll fix that, but probably not like in 1.4 and not like immediately, because it rarely happens that there's so much blood.
It's just because I was in the room. Just need a lot of dudes with bleed stacks and plenty of blood. So far, all I've seen is fiends, so I don't know. So far, all I've seen is fiends.
This is a 3-level habitat or 2-level habitat?
This is level
3-level
1.
habitat.
Apparently.
Speaking about
Amateur,
return
thank you
level-
very much for keeping that sub alive for a second month. Sorry, I have to do streamer things. If for anybody just tuning in, we are joined with or Epion in the chat is speaking with me right now, who's the developer of this here video game. I realize that I've kind of done a terrible job doing any format of introductions for this whole thing. But chat, can I get a round of beers?
You didn't even try to pronounce my surname.
No. I mean, I can say I can say Cornell, but I'm not gonna try and say your last name. That's up to you. At least I can get the first name. So still, so far, only imps. Only imps.
Station. I wonder if it spawns, now that I think about it.
I was gonna ask, like, if we're waiting for a specific type of unit, is it possible that we could have broken it?
Well, infestation might have broken it. We'll see.
It'd be funny if we find a bug.
No fucking ammo. Reload.
Well, actually, it would be if we would be doing the stream like on the release day. That would be sad. But considering that I have all the time in the world tomorrow to actually fix bugs, it's much better that I find bugs today than I find tomorrow, right?
Yeah. But that's the guy that we're looking for, I think.
So, I know it's going to hurt, but try to bump into him.
Try to bump into him. It's going to hurt. All right, sure. I've got enough med kits. I should be fine.
Use adrenaline or something, maybe.
I'll use a medkit. I don't have adrenaline up right now. All right. Download MDF codes.
Yep. And now I can kill him.
Now I have to kill him is the problem, actually. All right. Well, I downloaded the codes. Jeez. What I would give for that knife from the last run right now, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, that would be a massacre.
Or just a knife. Doesn't even need to be that knife. I don't even know if I can kill him.
Yeah, I forgot these things are stronger than
All right, there we
regular.
go. Got him.
They're bigger and stronger than a regular sentry.
So you have to hack them and pull out their brain stuffs. Got it. Can you? And
Well,
I'm
the
assuming you
point
can't
is-
hack them after they're dead too.
The point is, it's like with the common theme is also that you don't have to do anything on the branches. Like if you don't, for example, you would still get those rewards that were in the regular rooms in Valhalla Terminal. You just wouldn't get access to those blue rooms, but you could still shut down Kalsek. Notice if you had the red key card, even if you didn't have a single blue card.
Yeah.
And the same as here, you still get some rewards if you do the branch, without worrying about it's about the same thing that we talked before. It's the fact that you don't have to wiki spoil yourself for the secret, but you can still find, the secret by yourself. It's not something that you have to read on the wiki. Although this one, I tested with the testers by not telling them what the branch secret is, so they had to figure it out themselves. And I was looking how fast everybody figures it out, and it turned out that people did figure it out. So it's something that is doable without spoiling yourself in a wiki.
Got it.
But you can still beat the game without doing any kind of branch secret.
I
mean
think,
branch mechanic.
The way these kinds of secrets should be is like just like a lot of the game's design ideas, which is just if you don't need to notice it. It's like you can play the entire game ignoring all of the emails like I usually do. Well,
Like many people do.
completely.
I mean, I love when people get surprised that you mean that those aren't all fluff.
They're not just spam. Well,
They're
half
actually
of them are.
telling me something about the world. And I like that. I like the fact that it's not obvious,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be like, they're a big sign, read the emails because they have. No. I like the fact that people are, have this moment of, wow, this is actually related to what is in the world, right?
I'm looking for the droid with the special name. Which means I'm going to have to check all of them.
MDF, Mimir
Yeah.
Defense Force.
That was just a Cal-6 sentry, just normal sentry.
By the way, look at the weapons on the floor.
Oh, right,
They also
yeah.
have the branch perk, which is Mimir only.
Which is interesting, because the rifle I just picked up wasn't.
When it's an AV,
Yeah.
it doesn't have.
Aw.
Otherwise, it's a balance reason, so they don't get, so the AVs don't get too. They are already powerful. Well, yeah, right. MDF pistol.
The reason the other pistol back there didn't have one was because I dropped it to pick up the rifle that I'm carrying,
Yeah, I thought so.
which confused me for a second. +1 optimal weapon range. Oh, interesting.
And it doesn't take a mod slot. It's
Yeah.
a free extra thing.
I really like that. That's a really neat small addition.
This is strong on shotguns also, because +1 optimal
yeah.
on shotguns, it increases their full damage range significantly.
Probably just gonna stick with this rifle for the whole floor, just because it's got an extended mag, but still neat.
I'm trying to remind myself which branch had that fun. Oh yeah, this one has this cool thing.
This one has a cool thing. Well, that's not a good thing. I can't be
No,
anything.
no,
but
no.
trouble.
The good cool thing. The reward thing.
Oh, okay. Not the thing that's going to shoot me and kill me.
No.
Oh, it's head mode.
So you asked me in the beginning, like what was the idea behind this update.
Yep.
And now that we've seen, seen Valhalla and we're seeing Mimir, I can it's easier for me to explain that I just wanted to have this situation that every branch has more character, and it's not just, a different tile set and somewhat different level generators. I wanted each one to have something, special about it.
Yeah.
So the manufacturer perks and the dedicated mechanics are I think the best way of doing that. And once we have the whole game, like Europa, Io and Dante also have some kind of mechanics like that, I think the whole game will be much better and much more interesting. And there will be a reason to, because technically you can say, oh, the game is replayable, it's worth looking into every branch, but to be honest, except for the special level, there wasn't really a reason to go other branches. I mean, it's not that you saw something ridiculously new.
Yeah.
And with the addition of branch perks and branch mechanics, I think that gives a much bigger reason to be interested and have fun by visiting a different branch and trying to figure the different branch out.
I think it also depends on the branch, because certain branches in the game have big rewards at the end. There's the MDF.
Well, we are definitely trying to balance the rewards also. So there is a possibility that some branches will be more difficult but have better rewards. Like kind of right now it is with the CRI branch, right? Mm-hmm. But we still want it so that there's always, if the branch rewards are shitty, at least you get the fact that it's much easier. There shouldn't be such a situation that you have a hard branch with shitty rewards at the end, right?
Yeah. All right. Oh, what? Bloody repairs.
Oh, this one repairs a lot better than the regular one, by the way.
Yeah, I noticed that. After it repaired all the way, almost up to full health. 'Cause the other ones only do a very small percentage.
Mm-hmm.
Got its codes downloaded, though.
Now this is gonna be a hell of a fight.
It's also like even more of a legitimate reason to take a hacking build in here.
That's true, actually, with a hacking build.
So I'm just thinking to myself about like hacking them from across the map.
Finally.
But the big change with hacking builds will be when we do the Dante update, because the problem with hacking builds was that on Dante hacking is almost useless, especially like Infiltrator is kind of useless on Dante, and it requires a lot of investment. But Dante will have its own dedicated terminals, like alien terminals that will work differently than the regular ones, and I think this will make hacking builds a lot more interesting and a lot more viable in the end game.
Also, I would like to note, either I'm playing terribly, which is definitely possible, or early game's a lot harder.
You're playing on hard.
Yeah. But I didn't have this much trouble with these floors previously.
But you weren't expected to walk up to a sentry face to face, and B, pull a lockdown on yourself by choice, right?
True, yeah, I think I odds are pretty good. I think on a normal run I would ignore some of these mechanics. Unless like I was kitted out and doing well.
Well, the point is that I don't want them to become mandatory. I want them to become a conscious choice, right? So that players on higher difficulties will have to, once they know how the rewards look like at the end, they will have to decide whether it's worth taking. Because in both these branches, it's a question about, do I take the additional risk for the additional reward, right?
Yeah.
So the idea is for you to have more meaningful choices, basically. It's not about it just being secret, but once you know the secret, it's not like a insta-pick. It's not like, oh, I know this secret, that means that I'll always do it. No, you know this secret, but you know that it also comes at a cost, and you need to plan out like what are the problems with your build and whether the extra reward will, plug those gaps in the build.
Yeah. I mean, also just kind of bouncing off what Angry Healer said, like they do kind of have a point that it was always, if one of those two spawned, that's basically where I would go in the early game before this patch. If either Valhalla or Habitat spawned, it's like, yeah, those are like your two options. You go to one of those two. If you take a different option, you've made the wrong decision almost.
Well, Rift has a very unique reward if you do everything, and Callisto Mines also has unique reward that you can't get anywhere else, which is not true for Mimir and Valhalla.
The reason I would never do mines previously is just because of the lack of ammunition. And for a lot of builds, it would just be kind of a pain to go that route.
Yeah, I think the lack of ammunition should still be painful, but not as much, because what happened in the mines is that each level you're supposed to get a set amount of loot boxes. And on most levels, it generates a given amount of possible placements for the loot boxes, and then depending on how many loot boxes it needs to place, it fills them up. But what often happened in the mines cave tile sets and in the Rift cave tile sets was that the amount of possible placements was generated lower than the amount of loot boxes you should be getting. So not only did you have less, humanoid enemies that actually dropped those, but you also had less loot boxes to offset that. And this was also fixed in this version.
Also, I guess because of what Ketelars just said, shout out to Roland.
Yes. Unfortunately, I'm still waiting for him to deliver additional music in the soundtrack.
I've been debating on asking that for the last little bit, but kind of just didn't. That's a mean hallway.
Hey, Taylor B. No, you didn't miss the interview. I mean, the first.
This wasn't entirely announced either, so there was nothing really to miss. It just kind of... sort of pre-planned, also kind of impromptu. It's like we knew that I knew that there was a possibility that this might happen. I just wasn't totally certain that it would, so I didn't really say much.
Yeah, and what Angry Healer said, you might feel it's more difficult, but the fact that we're talking makes it more difficult.
Yeah, because I'm focusing on things that aren't just the game.
We're already building towards.
Army of Darkness.
Ooh.
And I have a MDF focused shotgun. So
Ooh.
hopefully that helps.
Wait, you'll get. Yeah, you should get the levels before the boss fight, so you'll be able to shotgun the boss. Huh. I really need to lower the damage gate.
Yeah, I was
Probably
looking at...
do that tomorrow.
I was looking at the boss and thinking like, this with like Army of Darkness would be a lot of fun, though. Which, for anyone who doesn't know, is essentially just turns a shotgun into a sniper rifle. Which is extremely goofy. Well, this is mean. All right, I'm just gonna walk away. Hold up.
Oh, there's the MDF one.
Yeah, there's the one I need. Actually.
Here, kitty.
I have an EMP! How handy! Also, I'm gonna put this on the focus shotgun.
Actually, yeah, EMP should work. You could EMP it, and then
If the EMP breaks it, I'm gonna be really sad.
No, I don't think it shouldn't. That's the only guarantee I can tell you. It shouldn't.
The droid behind it almost did, though.
was close.
So I threw the EMP at it, and as I was walking towards it, the sentry that was behind it's just like walking forwards and starts shooting at me. So now I've got a sentry shooting at me when I press this
Traitor.
button. Great. It's okay, he's dead. Close this one. Oh, you
Okay, so you got level 3 of the clearance. There's also a mechanic that because the branch, as you probably know, every branch can roll with length 3 or length 2. So depending whether it rolls with some branch mechanics, it doesn't matter. But some branch mechanics, like you get something extra if it rolls length 3 and you do a given task on every level. So the length of the branch matters, for example, in Mimir Habitat and in... actually, it matters in every branch except the Rift. In the Rift, it doesn't matter whether the Rift generates as length 3 or length 2. But in other places, you'll get better rewards if it's length 3. Like obviously in Valhalla Terminal, if you had 3 cards instead of 2, you get more rewards, right? So this will also, I hope, influence the choice of the branch, right? So it's not like an additional thing you'll have to take into account when you know everything about the branches is whether the given branch actually rolled as a 3-length branch or as a 2-length branch, because it influences the rewards that you can get from that branch.
I just glanced down at my Discord and realized I have 15 DMs from a friend of mine. I was skimming them all to realize that all of them led down to nothing, because jumping to a completely different subject. I'm going to Dragon Force later today with a friend, and I mentioned that I would meet him by the art gallery, and he's like, wait, that spot's not near the art gallery. I'm like, it's 1 block away. I was there last week. What are you talking about? Anyway, complete tangent there. But yeah, so far, like, I think that the amount of strategy that the game has now is kind of jumped pretty heavily, actually, just because of, like, the variations and rewards depending on how many key cards you can get based on, like, whether or not it's, like, a floor 2 entry into the alternate branch or a floor 4 entry into the alternate branch.
Yeah, because this was my okay, when it comes to that, I think the Aliens RL remake will be much of, on a completely different level, but I always wanted to have this, difference between tactics and strategy that, considering that tactics in this case of this game is the moment-to-moment gameplay and using, picking which items do you want to choose, and the strategy is what paths you choose, what decisions you make in the game. So I wanted to definitely to make the strategy layer a lot richer, to make the decisions on which branch you go, what do you decide to do in that branch, actual decisions instead of just this is the way I get the best rewards, so this is what I do.
Yeah, and so now the strategy is more direction instead of just purely tactical, which is all it was in the early game beforehand. Which hopefully will, like, hopefully it's obvious enough now, I guess, that people who stumble into this game not knowing what it is don't get an hour in and go, there's no strategy here, and get mad. Because those people still happen.
Yeah, I know.
I may or may not be referencing a specific review that happened recently, but...
But one of the actual goals with the game was that from the outside it was supposed to look really simple, and it was supposed to be really simple to learn, right? It shouldn't have like this. It shouldn't smack you in the face like a sledgehammer like Dwarf Fortress does. It was supposed to be like easy chill. And only after you do this easy chill, you start learning that the game is way deeper than you expected, right? Like, I'm pretty sure, for example, I'll give the example that's still... This is the thing that is most annoying me, actually. We will still have people that will say that Doom RL is more complex than Jupiter Hell, and actually,
There should be
at
a
this point,
master
it's no
switch
longer
here,
true.
somewhere.
I think that there are certain gameplay elements that trick the player into thinking it's more complex than Jupiter Hell, but it's purely just the player needs to know of a specific bug in order to play optimally. So if you can put some sort of mechanic in that trick players into thinking they're smart, then they'll think it's deeper.
Yeah, unfortunately so.
It's like the difference between whether or not you know how to fly. You knew how to fly in Warframe when it was still a new game.
Oh, the
Jump cancels.
sword coptering, or something like that.
I always knew it as jump canceling. I don't know. I'm just gonna pull you two up. Dodge around the corner.
But you know that one's interesting because it's kind of like Jupiter Hell and Doom RL, because what they did, they first removed the bug and people were really sad that they cannot, you know, run quickly through the level anymore. So what they did, they doubled down on it and made it an official mechanic, and that actually was one of the reasons why Warframe became really popular, because of that, you know, really intense speed that you could get in the game and that feeling of, you know, that you're jumping around. So they saw that people enjoyed this bug and actually, you know, removed it and remade it into a feature. So this is kind of exactly what Jupiter Hell did. I was looking at what people actually enjoyed in Doom RL. I removed those bugs, but I tried to reintroduce every bug as a feature, but in a controlled way. Oh, that's an MDF 9mm calibrated.
I also have an MDF
Wait a second.
jackhammer shotgun.
This is Army of Darkness run, right?
Yeah, this is an Army of Darkness run.
Okay, good game, good game.
At least for the first boss.
Do you see? Like you could not interact with the special things about MDF Central at all, and you would still walk out of this level really good, right?
I still don't
So it's
know what
not-
the special thing is.
Well, you still have to do the run of death.
We'll have to walk through all the droids.
But those are no longer regular sentries. Those are upgraded MDF sentries.
Oh no. I can't. One of the streamers who picked this game up at 1.0 and played a whole bunch of it, Tornus, he would always kill every single one of those at the door. He would sit there for
Right
like
now,
every single.
this is even worse. This is even a worse idea than it was before.
Oh no.
Destroying every single one of them. You'll see in a moment why.
Reboot the defense network. I'm assuming I want to do that.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I obviously won't add options that are just a death trap, right? Because that wouldn't... I mean, that would be funny once, but basically that's worthless from a point of game design.
Okay, so what is a toxin rifle? I want to know what a toxin rifle is. I also want to know what a flintlock is. I'm seeing so many things in here that I've never seen before.
Oh, because it takes some random early game exotics and allows you to pick your exotic. But to be honest, you already found the jackhammer, so
Yeah.
you might consider taking the super shotgun for ammo economy.
Yeah.
Or just use it to print a regular, you know...
Or I could just like, extract multi-tools even.
Yeah, but imagine a world in which you didn't get the jackhammer drop and you would get it here, right?
Yeah.
But they are random, and it doesn't guarantee you that you'll get.
Yeah. Yeah, I could have gotten anything on that. Just give me a helmet. I mean, I'm still going to probably reset at the end of this. So are these guys all friendlies now? Oh boy. So I guess I could bring 3 of them with me?
Broadcast follow.
I don't have any hacking skills, so I can't actually do that.
No, you can broadcast. I mean, you can bump into them
Well,
and
yeah,
select
I
broadcast.
can bump into them and ask them to follow me, but
Do it. It will be fun.
I like how
No,
this
I
one
mean,
is still
wait a
red.
second. Select broadcast instead of telling them to follow at the bottom.
Oh. Oh, okay. I understand now. I like that this guy is still like aggro.
That means that I still got some. There's a leftover bug.
He's trying to kill me real hard, really, really, really hard. It's not gonna work though. All right, guys, after you.
Well, it won't matter once you leave the level.
Oh my gosh. They all follow you?
Yes.
That's incredible. Okay, well, I can't see the map because there's so much blue.
Ever wanted to have your own army?
It's the I have an army, we have a Hulk situation.
Which reminds me, I need to fix the AI a little bit.
Yeah, they're all just kind
You
of.
can broadcast. You can tell broadcast follow, for example.
I think I need to just keep doing that.
But you're leaving the level anyway, so just broadcast follow.
Yeah.
And leave the level.
Needs your schedule and update to replay this. Well, I mean, the update for this I think is out tomorrow, right? You're pressing the go button tomorrow, unless you're waiting till Tuesday. Army of Darkness. I mean, to be fair, like getting this upgrade is gonna be kind of a pain. But now the question is, do I leave them on follow or do I just set them to hunt? I think I just set them to hunt, right?
You can also broadcast hunt, right?
Yeah. Get them, boys.
Which reminds me, I'll still need to do some upgrades in the. I still have some update plans in regards of the, how do you call it, the AI department of friendlies. Actually, this level is done, I think.
I think we already won. Oops, just keep at it.
Oh, but do remember that they don't follow you to Europa.
Yeah, I kind of assumed it as much. I figured at most
Actually,
like.
okay,
three would follow.
actually they would follow you, but only 3 of them.
Yeah,
like
that's,
this multi-follow works only on Callisto.
So now I need to find the end of the map.
Yeah, but the one thing that I really want to change when it comes to the AI to make swapping positions a lot easier. Probably shift move into a friendly will swap positions, which will make it much easier to move around when you get an army.
Well, I also have a storage room, and they are
you
set
know-
to follow.
You might not be able to get out of there.
We'll see.
Chunk, chunk,
We're gonna swap positions with you.
chunk, chunk.
The trade keeps coming. There's so many of them.
But the funny thing is, if you would destroy them, only 3 would follow. I mean, only those that would follow you. It keeps the counter
Yeah.
of the ones that you left there, and it makes sure that you don't have more than there are alive, right?
Yeah, so if you sit there for forever and like pick them all off, then you have no friends later.
You'll have no friends later. Sorry, Tornip.
All right, let's swap here.
And considering that they're also, it doesn't make sense to destroy them because they're all 0 experience. So you don't even get experience for destroying them. There's literally no point.
I think I may have. Okay, so I can still come down here and then hit broadcast and then be like, fuck.
It keeps. Technically, it keeps the amount of non-destroyed NDFs constant. So basically, you don't even have to worry about telling them to follow. They will come anyway. So even if you wouldn't do follow, they would still come out of the elevator.
Well, that's good. Guess that's my exit. I've explored so little of this map. I feel like I'm doing something wrong. Because they won the level so fast. I'd love to see these guys on like Nightmare with the respawning enemies.
But as you see, this is an offset for getting hit a lot when doing Mimir, right? So you're paying a bigger price in the branch, but later you have unstoppable force.
It's very much an unstoppable force. Yeah, I think that their AI seems to kind of get stuck on the follow. Like, only 3 of them can, like, comfortably follow.
Yeah, I still need to work a little bit on the AI.
Ooh, I just got a shotgun amp. Something, Army of Darkness run. Alright, let's just make sure that they're all set to broadcast follow. Alright. Let's go, friends. All aboard the school bus.
Spaceport. Hope
All
there's a
about the
working
choo-choo
drop.
train.
Now I'm gonna send this hype train to go kill all of the bads. Let's see how quickly they finish the spaceport.
Wait for all of them to come out and then do a broadcast hunt. I think
Yeah,
that's
because a bunch of them are still on follow, I guess.
If
Oh,
they're
no,
not, if they're not in the level, they don't get the broadcast, right?
Right. I have to help them. They were getting kind of rocketed there. That vending machine fell over even after the buff.
But I must say that to not make this as ridiculous as it could be, I did make sure that they're not going to to overpower the boss.
Well, I mean, I'm going to send them in regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's kind of their last hurrah, right? I'm going to have to broadcast them all to follow.
Like in terms of like high-level gameplay, you would have to. You could consider, for example, telling at least 3 of them to stay, so you can take them to Europa. I think you can take them to Europa. I'm not sure, but I think so.
Maybe I should do that.
I mean, only three of them, right?
Yeah. Let's see if we can do that then. So you wait, you wait, you wait. The 2 are set to follow. We're gonna go unlock the hangar. Now I need to swap positions with 2 of them. I'm gonna go loot.
Yeah, the shift swap is definitely going to be better.
Yeah. Well, at the very least, they don't friendly fire you anymore. Glad that one got changed. Getting just shot in the back by your own robots was a difficult thing to play around sometimes.
But considering that you're going to dish out damage, maybe finally the boss will respond in a more violent manner.
This is definitely the strongest I've been at this point today. Question is, will I do enough? Get up behind him. There you go. So he goes into bulwark. Goes purple. Oh, and then he fires off rockets. Well, that's good.
Yeah, so the only thing right now is that this should trigger more often, and not only if you have an overpowering force. Yeah, because he's extremely dangerous if you do too much damage to him.
I have 1 HP.
That's the good shit right there.
So I guess like the strat for this guy then is to not do a lot of damage.
Precisely.
Yes.
Because you know how many medkits I had at the start of this fight?
Yep.
4. I now have 0. Switching to the auto rifle.
Yeah, so
I'm dead.
finally, now that I see how this fight looks like, I know exactly what I need to do. I need to have this mode trigger more often and do less damage.
Uh-huh. Trigger more often and not like do 75% of my health in 2 hits. Because I'm pretty sure that's what it just. Because I was at like 90 or like in the 80s or 90s for HP, and
To be fair,
I got
you were
splashed.
standing right between all of the free shots. You were standing in the only square that was hit by all 3 of them. So that's why you got 75%
Sure,
damage.
but my statement as to why I was standing there is because I wasn't sure if that would be like a warlock targeted one where they fire just a single missile, or if it was going to be an AoE explosion, which is actually something that I've found kind of unclear about those little things. It's like it doesn't light up the square or anything, so I don't actually know what that's going to do until it fires off once. But like now I guess I would have more of an idea on how to dodge that instead of
But
it
the
just
funny thing is,
blowing
this
me up.
only triggers if you do too much damage to him during a turn, which makes for a very silly mechanic that
You have to
easy
tickle him to
players
death.
will roll through this guy, but those guys that have, builds with high damage will basically be nuked by him.
It's gonna obliterate your good run, like the one I had just. It's like if I mean I was going to reset anyway, so I don't particularly care. But it's like if I didn't know that was going to happen, and that just hit me, I would have been completely confuddled and been like, well, I guess I need to be stronger. But like in reality, it's just bring a pea shooter into there and just scrape him to death, I guess.
Yeah, so I need to rebalance that because unfortunately, the only thing I had was reports from testers, and reports is a different situation when you actually see it being played. And it's really hard, for example, to know at what power level the player will be without actually playing the whole game up till this point, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, lower the damage gate, lower the damage.
But yeah, I would say this has been fun.
Lord Sloth, I think that 2-3 times you encounter the boss and you'll pick it up. That's that's the target, right? If we don't manage to, also there's an important thing. If you would look at the info, it actually tells you exact numbers. So you know that when he's bulwarked, he takes only 20%, I think, of damage, and basically the bulwark is for 3 seconds. Afterwards, okay, the optimal strategy after a few fights, you'll notice that if he does close up, just run. Like, don't think about shooting him. He'll stand up again, and then you can fight him. So it's a different mechanic than from the boss, despite the fact that both of them actually have like a turtle mode.
And they both have 4 legs and are kind of the same shape. But I have time to do one more here, if you're up for it. Otherwise,
Yeah, actually, yeah. I was thinking about, but I think one more run.
yeah. I'm just kind of throwing it out there because it's like I have about an hour and a half before I need to be walking out the door, so got time for one more.
What the hell happened here?
And
just
hopefully Rift will spawn.
Yeah.
I really want Rift to spawn.
Well, Rift or Mines are the 2 we haven't done, but we can aim for Rift. if I don't get a Rift spawn, what I'll do is I can I'll just spawn in on easy and we'll run through it.
Okay, yeah, do so, please. Especially that the Rift one might be really hard on hard.
I mean, I could just swap over to easy now and do it that way. That'd be better, maybe?
Swap up to medium, I think, and because the mechanic of the Rift is problematic.
The mechanic of the Rift is problematic. Noted.
Okay,
So it's going to go say impolite things on Twitter.
Give me 5 minutes. I'll just, 2-3 minutes. I'll just get myself a drink.
Alrighty. Means I'm all
Crypt
alone
rocks.
with chat for a minute. Just like usual. You know, it's one of the hardest transitions about doing stuff like this. Chat room is going from like I'm talking to another person. Now to I'm monologuing. It's like I have to rewire my brain to do this a little bit, but hopefully you guys have been enjoying this so far. We'll consider this kind of like halfway intermission. Got one top side. Now I've like just swapped the difficulty down, so I'm like, it'll be fine, and then like chop in the back. Could just quietly die and just pretend it didn't happen.
No fucking ammo. Reload.
This is a really bad doorway. Like really bad.
Well, here I go, and you're dying.
Yeah, I was like just suggesting, I'm like, I could just like restart, like just not say anything, but that was just a really awkward doorway. Everybody was either behind this door or the one up above, and so I opened one,
yeah,
and then
the
I
new
just,
layouts.
Yeah. I don't know if it was necessarily new layouts. I mean, it was also, well, I mean, maybe actually that might have just been it. Me not expecting.
Yeah, this one
patterns.
is confirmed to be more difficult.
It's just where they spawned.
Oh, bug.
Oh.
Huh. Bug.
Yeah, they're not on the map.
Let me open up a list.
Live QA, folks. This is a beta branch, so bugs are expected. Well, I guess that just kind of like confirms that I should just reset it. Do you need the seed or anything?
No. I know what happened. I just need to make sure it doesn't.
Let's restart that one.
Damn, this looks like trouble.
Dude spawning off map is not generally an optimal method of finishing a level.
Yeah, I added some variations to the intro levels because those are the ones that everybody sees a lot, right? So.
I mean,
Ideally, I would add another new tile set for the intro levels, so it would be like 50-50, but
it is
new
the
tile
only
sets,
level,
unfortunately, are expensive.
the only level that you're guaranteed to see.
That's true. And there are a lot more, intro tiles, the tiles on which your ship is actually placed. But I am also thinking to add more variation to it. The problem with adding variation to the first level is that from the one side you would want to have variation so that things feel different from the beginning. But on the other hand, the problem is that if you add too much variation, it breaks high-level play into a moment that you are forced to seed to start scum until you get a favorable layout, right? So there's this problem between balancing the fact that the initial layout should be interesting, but if it's too varied, that will make people start scum on higher difficulties to get a beneficial layout. So for example, we couldn't add a rare item into one of those chests as the starting boon, because otherwise people would be start scumming until they get the item they want.
Oh, yeah, it'd be like finding Isaac when you like are trying to get specific achievements and you need specific builds. So you roll a new game, walk up one tile, see if you got the right item. If you didn't, roll a new game, walk up one tile, see if you got an. It's great gameplay.
Yeah, that's what I don't like. There's a balance to be had. Like for example, I think Slay the Spire actually almost has it right. There's the boon that you get at the beginning. You choose one of 4 options. And contrary, for example, to Monster Train that I also played, where the starting options that you see make you want to reroll the game from the beginning, in Slay the Spire they actually did this very, how do you call it? Very interesting mechanic that this additional boon you don't get unless you get at least the first episode, through the first episode. So you cannot start scum. And I think this is good.
The right branch. We have Valhalla, Mines, and Habitat.
Restart.
Restart. All right.
There's exactly 66% chance that Rift will appear.
Which means we should get it this time. Unless we're as unlucky as I was with my 3 random classes getting the same class 3 times in a row.
Well, yeah, that might happen. That's 3 times 1/3. The interesting thing here is that it's not 25%. I mean, it's not 75% that the branch will appear because on every moon there's one branch that is guaranteed. On, for example, on Io you will always get Dark Cathedral, and on Europa you will always get Europa Ruins. So doing the hard secret is always possible. And on Callisto mines will always generate. The official explanation for that is that there's an achievement tied to the Callisto anomaly.
I guess there is, yeah. So long ago I got that.
Fucking ammo, reload.
It's like a different game back then.
A fucking man.
All right.
Much has changed since you lived here, my friend.
Back when this game didn't have melee. Or like.
Oh my, that was long. That was ages ago.
I want to say like I beat Callisto Anomaly on like the very first version that was released, like maybe even the first day. But I remember commenting that the sound that they made, that the guys make when they spawn there, was so loud that I had to take my headphones off. And I remember you like adding, I think Roland saying, "All right, we need to turn that sound down, nerf that sound a bit."
Yeah, it was extremely loud. It's still kind of loud.
That's not as loud. It's tolerable now. This is my favorite variation of this area's tile set. The kind of red lines around the base, the walls.
Yeah, this one's fairly new also.
Maybe that's why it's
think-
one of my favorites.
It replaced a tile set which was different from the original one only by the fact that it has a white stripe instead of a yellow stripe. Because the first one, the default one, has yellow stripes, like smaller stripes than this one. And the second tile set had only that difference that the yellow stripe was white. And this one has a way fatter stripe and a different metallic material for the floors. So it's sufficiently different.
Now that you mentioned that
noticeably
there's
different.
blood on the ground, I'm just looking for blood that I didn't put there.
Like there.
Yeah, like there, and then
Where
the
the imp is.
little streak right behind me, like this little one right here.
And there's way more floor vents, there's way more decorations on the walls.
Yeah.
Like every tile set every generator was adjusted for more like visual clutter and variety.
I kind of want to like open up my old VODs and go back and look now and just be like, look at the difference in variety here. Also, in regards to live QA, Pog, Angry Healer, I think that's why you're all here, right? It literally is live QA. To a degree. I think that's just what streaming all video games is. Aw, man.
Well,
barrels
the
are
whole
just out of range.
the whole QA department is here with you.
The rest of them are in chat too.
Yeah.
Like between.
Oh, that's true. Actually, the rest of them are on the Discord, the Jupiter Hill Discord.
There's gotta be at least a couple of them here.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a quiet few months in this neck of the woods for various reasons, so. Yay! I was just looking for armor that whole floor, and then I find them after everything's dead. Alright, let's see what we got. I haven't looked. How's the RNG? Guess what? Wait, we got the bad luck again.
Okay, your choice. If we have time for another attempt, or are you going mines?
I'm going to try it one more time, but I'm setting it to easy,
Something's gone wrong.
so I can just run through. Now you guys can see the difference in
I think-
which I could play this
I
game.
think
with
you're
the-
forgetting how easy is easy.
Easy? What? There's difficulty here? I'm sorry.
Out of ammo. Reload.
Also, I mean, they have a higher kill count on themselves than I have.
Clean up on aisle fuckhead.
Because they've friendly fired two of themselves so far. But no, I'm quite aware of how easy is.
Canyon Matt, you mean the sound after you're actually after they turn blue, after they're friendly? Because sometimes I haven't found that situation yet, but sometimes they actually emit sound from the player instead of from themselves, and this is the reason why it sometimes gets really loud.
They actually
Or is it
emitted
the
that
fact that they?
sound? I think the sound that Kinemat's referring to played during the end of the last run when I had all those bots out. There was one point where it popped off and it was far away.
Yeah, I'll need to take a. I'll see the VOD and see that moment, so maybe I'll find the reason. Cheating!
Cheating?
Cheating! Diagonal movement is cheating.
But you put the mechanic in there.
Fucking ammo. Reload.
Watch me
But
die.
you actually did a move that would that you wouldn't be able to do otherwise, even in 2 moves. Because of the boxes.
Boxes are very, very helpful.
Come on, find me the terminal. I need to see if we are unlucky again.
Why I'm playing fast.
Need to reload.
Alright, let's see. What do we have? Well, there's Rift. I haven't found the terminal yet, but I found the door. So.
And
we're
it's
good.
open, so yeah, we're good.
Well, it would have been open. Is it possible for it to be locked on the first floor?
This motherfucker.
I think no. Yeah, because on the first floor you usually don't have enough, or maybe. I don't remember.
I don't think I've ever encountered a door I couldn't open unless it was like one that I obviously just didn't prepare for. All right. Yeah, I'm not that strapped for time, but I know that it's late for you, so. And you've got a game patch to drop tomorrow, so.
No, if everything goes well. Well, I do have one bug that I need to fix. But apart from that, the only thing I need to do is enable the secret. Which is changing one value that is true and one value that is false into a value that is true. Everything else is already in the game and prepared.
All right, so we're in Callisto Rift now.
Yeah, the special thing about this level you can find yourself. Just don't leave too early.
Just don't leave too early and explore everything. Got it. I mean, that's how I play normally anyway. And run easy so I can just kind of not think
And
too hard.
it's good that you're on easy because this one is actually tricky.
Is the levels hard or?
No, you'll see what I mean.
Okay.
Won't spoil it.
Also got to keep a pea shooter so I can actually kill the boss. Need to make sure I
Well,
have
it
like a
doesn't have
blade
to.
pistol.
Notice
to
that
do
you
a lot of damage.
notice that you were shooting at him with a chain gun and you didn't trigger the damage gate.
Yeah,
it's
that's because I
only
had a
four-
Fire Angel build, right?
It's only if you reach 40 damage, you and your allies, within a single turn that he transforms.
Oh,
I
so
would
it's
probably
like impossible to
reduce
avoid
that.
with the droid army then, practically.
Yeah.
Huh.
But what you
Interesting.
can do with the droid army is send the droid army, let them die, everybody at the boss, wait a little bit, then he transforms back, and then enter the room, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to be with the bots when they're fighting it. You can be, this armchair general, right?
Oh yeah. Well, there's definitely like multiple strategies I can think of to like get through that. Are you
That's
sure
good,
you
that's
want to
good.
open
Multiple
this gas
strategies.
pipeline? It's asking me if I want to open a gas pipeline. I'm assuming I want to open said gas pipeline, right?
Yeah, but I would want to know where the exit is first.
Fair enough. That seems dangerous. Got one of those. But yeah, chat, since I think this is our last run, if you do have things that you want to say or demands you want to make or compliments you want to throw, now's probably a better time to do that than not while I power through this.
No fucking ammo. Reload.
I think I'm starting to
threats,
see...
etc.
I'm starting to see why you're saying that it's harder if there's like poison that's going to be everywhere soon. That's what I'm assuming that's going to be. There's a vent.
It's a two-edged sword, right? Because that poison would actually kill a lot of the enemies also. So once again, it's a risk and reward thing. Even within the level, it is a real choice to be made instead of you know, just a brainless poke this thing because it's here, right? Because what I did wanted to avoid with the branch mechanics was having any kind of mechanic that's basically once you know about it, it's an instant decision that it's not doesn't require you to undertake anything. So it either should be a challenge or provide a benefit that is not always a benefit, right?
Like shutting down Calsec, where there's no reason to not once you're there.
Yeah, that was fine, but still, that was basically shutting down Calcic is a reward, so we can get away with this, right?
Yeah. It's your reward for taking a slightly harder route.
Mm-hmm.
On paper, anyway. So the exit's right there, which is very convenient. That does exactly what I was expecting it to do. Jump into floor 2.
And notice that it actually can be if you would, for example, be near the exit and find it, you can take the decision to just turn on the gas or for example, if you would have some kind of source of immunity already, like you already do, but don't use it. Might come in handy later.
I'm like blanking on what immunity I have, but
I'm pretty sure you have an environmental pack.
do I? No, I just have basic armor. I don't even have a helmet. Yeah, I've got...
I mean, you have a Enviro pack, which gives you 50 turns, I think. Oh yeah, and you have...
in my inventory, yes. Okay. Mm-hmm. I was looking at the wrong thing. Yes, you are correct.
Mm-hmm.
Need to reload.
Oh yeah, and the weapons that drop here and then the mines have the JS modifier, which is probably the weakest of the modifiers, but if you're building towards something that it can be useful for, it's really strong.
It just allows the weapons to program in JavaScript, which isn't very helpful usually.
By the way, this is the reason why the exotic JS revolver was renamed to High Explosive Revolver. Because otherwise, you could find a JS revolver, and that would be silly.
That's funny. Firefly is still best revolver, though.
That hit the spot.
Yeah, I'm like programmed to save Enviro packs for things like the Toxic Hollow. Kind of expecting the now you can tell me if I'm right or not if you want, but I'm kind of expecting that the last area is just going to be filled with poison as I open these, right? That's my current expectation. But
Your intuition serves you well.
don't know how like difficult of a stretch that is, but
the funny thing is that the Rift always was supposed to have something to do with poison, but due to the lack of technological tools in the engine at that point when we were implementing it, I decided against it. But as I said, I've spent a lot of time adding some more interesting features into the engine itself, which allows us to do stuff like these. That's a funny. There was a funny lightning column in the middle of a cave
Just
where
like
there
an
is
empty
no.
pillar for no reason.
Exactly. The cave generators weren't touched too much, but they will be touched in the next version, and the caves should become much more interesting.
I think the
And
caves
this
are
will
already one of the more
apply,
interesting areas, but
and this will apply both to caves in Callisto as well as Europa. And does Io have caves? Oh yeah, it does.
Who's
In the Noxious Hollow.
No room.
there's a few offshoot areas, yeah, that have caves. I keep like getting worried and then realizing that I'm on easy. All right, where's that gas? There it is.
But yeah, once you know how it behaves, it might be beneficial sometimes to put the gas forward before actually clearing the level.
Yeah.
But at the moment, this is the safest way.
Or if you get extremely lucky and like happen to have a auto-loading SMG, I'll gladly take that. Or alternatively, get extremely lucky and stumble upon a. Oh, we've got the hunt turned on. That's fun.
Mm-hmm. So find a defensible position. Ah, this is easy.
This will work. Also, yes, this is easy. I just need to press the shoot button generally.
This is the difficulty I'm most familiar with because when quickly pressing enter when testing the game, I never set it to anything else than easy. Yeah, I really need to play the game on stream. Oh, by the way, because the question wasn't answered, the JS modifier adds plus 25% of critical damage, which means that it's completely useless unless you have a source of critical hits, either by a mod or by the weapon having inherent crit chance. But plus 25 critical damage on a critical build is actually really huge.
That was fun. This just isn't even fair anymore because I've got this like little wall in the middle that I can just like skip between.
Now you see me, now you don't.
Not even fair. Streamer's just over here cheating. It's that those easy mode moves. Help. He'll break through. One.
Yeah, it's a regular vault.
I'm not just trying to beat them all with nothing but a knife, but kind of doing that.
Oh, we don't have the...
Fancy knife?
No, I don't have the Dumarel had an achievement for beating the whole game with a knife. I just realized we don't have one. And it also had an achievement for beating the whole game with a fist. But such achievements were basically added after somebody did that thing, and I said like, oh yeah, if it's possible, there should be an achievement for it.
All right, so we've got the smoke turned on, and I need to find the right exit now because I did the not smart thing. It's okay, we're on easy. It's fine. I just need to be very patient.
Yeah, this is starting to sound less and less confident.
It's fine. It's easy.
Don't worry, it's easy. It's fine. It's easy, right?
Looks like I'm using the Enviro Pack.
No, don't.
Stim Pack then in this case.
Stim Pack will also clear you.
There's my exit.
Need to get rid of
It's one of those I'm not nervous, you're nervous moments.
Yeah, I'm a fucking hoarder, okay?
That I do.
So now I realize that it's good that you're doing it on easy because, as far as I know, this might be the hardest one to properly do.
Oh really?
Yeah.
What did they do?
All right,
Because
Chad. I need you guys to do me a favor and post a round of beers because we're on the last floor of this area. But go on.
The only thing I'll just tell you is explore instead of just rushing for the final point of the level.
I feel like I would always explore this one because this is one of the cooler level gens anyway, so that's helpful.
But it's but it's one of the most annoying level to get through quickly. Also.
Yeah. Also, it's kind of hard to not explore it just because like the way the fiends spawn. It's pretty difficult to avoid fighting with them. That's new. Assuming I break all the pipelines again. Maybe I need to know where the pipelines are after I come back and break them.
And here's a tip: do it before.
So, yes, break them now?
I'll tell you one secret thing that would be hard to figure out by yourself. If you do it after going through the first area, there will be about 4 times more gas spawn than if you do it now.
Okay. Immediately steps into gas. Come on. So it's a good thing
You've
I played.
got still stim pack, right?
Oh, I've got apparently 4 red cards. I've got a stim pack, an enviro pack, and 3 med
4
kits.
red cards?
Yeah, I've got 4 red cards, and also I still have adrenaline and all that. I'm not worried. It's more just like annoying that I have to path around smoke.
I'm not 100% sure, but the way I tried to design it is that it's easier to turn on the smoke before than after.
I want to try turning it on afterwards, but
Well, at that point you would have to basically pop the enviro pack and get through the level again.
wasting
Because
an
notice
enviro
that
pack.
this is a returnable level.
Oh, right. Jeez, I hadn't even thought about that. Because this is so much of a, like, end level previously.
Which is one of the reasons that I changed the tiles that generate here to actually have more bridges between the gaps.
Yeah, I'm
So you don't
noticing
have
that.
to do those. Yeah, I don't know how well you remember the level, but it basically has a little bit more connections now.
Yeah, there's, like, this area that I'm standing on right now wouldn't have been here in the previous versions.
Also to make it a little bit easier to dodge through the smoke. Because right now it's an issue, right? I don't remember if the smoke only walks through floor tiles or can it go over the gaps.
Well, looks like it's going over gaps. But it's
I
hard
mean,
to tell
there's
visually.
a single. By the way, do you have smoke grenades?
Yes.
If you throw a smoke grenade in the middle and hit the middle tile of a gas, how do you call them? A gas cloud? It will disperse the smoke. Or if you use a smoke screen. And heal damage.
Yeah.
Or a grenade, actually.
Yeah.
Smoke grenade. On something that you would consider the middle of this.
Did you see that? When the grenade went off?
Yeah, bottom right. Yeah, I know.
What was that?
Surprised. It's a glitch with the way the effects are rendered in the game.
Wait,
Ah, you didn't hit the source tile, damn it.
I might need to pop the enviro pack here.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you might.
Because we're pretty stuck back here. That or I
But
could
you're
stim
close.
through it.
But you're close enough to the end that yeah, you can pop the enviro pack.
It's between that or stim in the middle of it, but I mean, we are still uneasy. Feels like a joke at this point. I got one more I gotta pop, which is up here.
Ah, shit, I forgot that you didn't pop the other one.
No, I didn't pop the
Oh,
top
well.
half. But there's also like no smoke up at the top side, so it's fine.
It may come.
Well, it hasn't yet. It takes a while. Help. Smoke's all in here, though. This is inconvenient.
Impact, I guess.
Kite them out.
The point is that there are robots inside, so it doesn't even...
And they have more smoke and poison. Getting out of
Are
this
you going to die?
Am I going to die on easy? Yeah, that's a mighty good question. Currently, I don't know. We'll see. I'm certainly not getting in there where the chests are.
The point is that this is one of the challenges, the special challenges of levels are actually kind of difficulty independent,
What do we have here?
I would say.
Ooh. I just got a new toy, as they say.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's the one I had earlier.
There's a
kinda
medical station. And there's the bright shiny spot.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfuckers.
So, what do I do with the bright shiny spot?
Well, what any sensible person would do.
Step on it? Shoot it? Poke it?
Step on it. I think the fact that step on it was your first choice. Yes, step on it.
I feel like I might die. Looks very dense
on.
with poison.
Who wants to live forever?
Hey chat, who wants to live forever? Any takers? Feeling like I'm gonna need another stim pack. Good thing that I have like unlimited multi-tools though, so it's fine. All right, we got 2 extra stims.
Yeah,
First,
should get you out of there.
rumble. You involuntarily let the gas into your lungs. Apparently. I have an effect now? Rift attunement. You attuned yourself to the poison of the rift, and you're immune to gas and poison, just like for the rest of the run?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Sure. Wow. Okay. Now I understand why you're saying it's a lot easier to get out than it is to get in.
And I think that now nobody will tell me that the Rift rewards are not worth it.
I used to really like coming here just because it was a fun map to kind of like battle through, but yeah, that is. Now I'm just sitting here going like, all right, well I guess we have to go via Toxic Hollow if it spawns, like guaranteed. Yeah, that's neat. Damn. So wait, is there poison in there regardless of if I pull
No,
those
if you
pipes?
don't open the pipe, there won't be any poison, and there won't be that final place of poison. Only if you open all the valves while traveling and then open the final valve, only then will that special place appear.
Okay, so I have to
and-
open every single one of them in order for that to happen. Interesting. All right. 'Cause I was wondering if there would just be like poison in that one room independently if I only pulled 2 of them or something. But like the
And what
vent's
is-
not full.
And what's interesting, you basically poisoned all of Callista right now.
Oh. So hey, it's like the it's just like Kelsec Central except like for organic fleshy life forms instead of just the robots. Well, they're all poisoned now.
What do we have here?
That is neat.
Well, it's obvious that if you're playing Technician Toxologist, you probably won't go that path. But other builds, They might benefit from this.
I mean, like, just trying to think out loud, like, why? If you're toxicologist, then you're just not poisoned at all anyway, because you can get poison immunity pretty quick.
No, basically, if you're a toxicologist, you get poison immunity anyway really quickly, right? So the Rift reward becomes much less useful.
True.
That's what I mean. So the only benefit then is those 2 levels that are poisoned between you and the final level.
Yeah, so you'd be you'd get a lot more benefit out of doing any of the robot ones. I'm vampire, by the way, so I'm just like walking through everything. I'm a vampire who also has carnage, which is weak enough to wheedle down that boss.
Come get some.
These guys are resilient. That's fun.
Rinse. Repeat.
All right, let's run to that boss and see if I can kill him. But yeah, this is really neat. Really, really neat. I do wonder how many people are actually going to find a lot of these early things early on, especially the one in Mimir Habitat. But
as I said, I tested it through the testers. I told them that there are things to be found, right?
yeah,
And obviously some people ran through and only, saw that they need Mimir clearance and then started wondering, how do I get that Mimir clearance? Then they noticed that there's one sentry that's different, and basically they somehow figured it out. Because that one was the hardest to find, so I explicitly said that if somebody finds it, he shouldn't tell it yet, right?
yeah.
So most of the people figured it out, so I guess it's not that hard to figure it out.
Hey, Costlord. Yeah, no, that's really exciting. I think it's going to be a fun period of time for people who played the game previously, and anybody who's new to the game won't find it. Like that's the one thing that I'm kind of coming to right now is like if you're playing the game for the first time right now and you don't know about any of this stuff, yeah, you're not going to find any of it.
But I still think that once we so here's the big picture. I want to do the same thing as I did for Callisto right now for every single branch in the game, and I think this will be fun. This will make the game have a lot more content, depth, and interesting stuff, and pull the strategic choice of picking branches much higher than it is right now.
Yeah, the thing that I wouldn't say it's been missing from this game, but like the thing that this game has lacked up until this point, like you've highlighted earlier in this discussion, is just the lack of reason to go to certain areas. Which, at least for like these opening areas, now that you've given them their full redos, yeah, we're there now. There's reason to go to all of these zones, and I don't even know what's in the mines because I haven't been there yet. At least not today. I got stuff to do later in the week. Leave the frag shotgun. What a crime. I have a question. Is this where you wanted the game to be at for 1.0? For the, all of this stuff? Because I know
No, not yet.
you left early access way earlier than you wanted to, so.
Not yet.
Close, I guess.
I mean, once I stop adding stuff to the game, that's the point where I wanted the 1.0 to be, right?
Yeah.
Most of the stuff that I'm adding post 1.0 is stuff that I really wanted to add before 1.0, but well, it was the right choice because right now we're, if anybody's interested in that, we're financially in a good spot. There's no risk of there's enough money to be preparing for the next project. There's no risk that the current one. Well, actually, there's no risk that Jupiter Hell will be abandoned because it's technically finished. But yeah, there will be okay. There's content planned up till 2.0, which is 1.4, 1.5, and 2.0. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to realize that. At that point, we'll start working on the next game. and possibly do more content updates for Jupiter Hell too. But at that point, the content updates will slow down.
I think every game needs to have a natural slowdown at some point, though.
But up till 2.0, we will be still working on this full time.
I guess he can't fit through this door. Okay.
He doesn't feel a need. If you would walk away, he would probably walk through.
Well, okay.
Actually, you didn't trigger the.
Well, I know how to kill the boss now. Is just avoid the other phase. But yeah, if you rebalance it slightly for patch tomorrow, then it shouldn't have that problem. You'll still be able to screw with people instead of only nuking the poor bastard who had a good run. But, it's fine.
But on the other hand, it's kind of a interesting mechanic, you must say. If the boss is basically only dangerous if you're too powerful.
Angry Healer says that they're looking forward to Saturn Hell, which just reminds me of a very obscure metals reference, which is instead you could just go listen to Alice in Hell.
Well, I'm not going to say anything, but I do have the Saturn Hell. I always thought that is a really shitty name. So, but I am the owner of TitanHell.com.
Titanfall might have something to say to you. I mean, Titan Hell is pretty good. I feel like Titan could maybe just be an expansion pack, though.
The idea was that it would be a completely different game also, like a completely different genre at some point even.
Oh, wow. I don't know, the concept in my mind of you making a game that isn't this genre hurts a little bit. Like, I don't know how I could imagine that, but...
Okay, you know what other genre I'm thinking also about, so...
Yeah, you've thrown some hints around about that.
But it would still be very roguelike-y.
Yes, definitely. I mean, that... I don't know if you want me to say anything, but considering you said it in my chat, but like
no,
that...
the point is that if it doesn't have procedural generation with permadeath, I'm not really interested.
Not really interested. Well, to be fair, games with procedural generation and permadeath are literally some of the most popular games in the industry right now. So, and even games that aren't are trying to be like that, which is strange. I guess I'll never fully understand it, but going to abandon yet another run. It's just
well.
So.
It's been great fun, and we really need to do this again for the next patch.
Yeah, no, I'm down to do these like whenever you do patches. Like the day before works well for me too, especially if they end up on Sundays.
Yeah, and if you'll be streaming Jupiter Hell this week, I'll try to also drop by and answer any questions if people have it.
Yeah, this week for me is going to be a lot of Jupiter Hell. Mostly because like 7-Day RL just is like wrapping up right now, right? So my plan for this week anyway was to just play 7-Day RLs all day. So it actually makes a lot of sense to play like, I don't know, 3 runs of Jupiter Hell and then just a bunch of 7-Day RLs every day. Like that makes logical sense to me. So that's gonna be my week.
So wrapping up, it was a great pleasure, and if anyone in chat wanted to ask a question, I'll still be around here when Blindy streams Jupiter Hell. So,
or you can just find them on their Discord where you are most times. Regardless
Precisely,
of day or night.
Discord. Come to the Discord, people. We'll be talking about secrets once the once the patch actually lands. Because
the biggest secret isn't even in the game yet that you've been talking about.
Basically through all of today's runs, we were actually talking about something that would be considered secrets. But yeah, the biggest secret isn't even in the game.
It's currently in the game as number 1680 bracket redacted bracket. So, secret is yet to come, I suppose.
Okay, so thank you, Blind. Thank you, everybody. And see you around.
It was a pleasure. Till next time.
Till next time.
All right, so we are done with that large chunk of the stream. But I unfortunately also need to say goodbye I know that I normally stream for like another 4 hours, friends, but today I'm going to go see Dragon Force. You know, little indie band. You may have heard of them. Anyway, I bought these tickets like last year. Like, actually, my friend Kevin bought the tickets for today like a year ago at this point.